All right, Anthony Corbo, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
Dude, listen, it's an absolute honor to be able to do this and have everybody on, man. I've been super excited when me and you talked at Summit Point. Was it 3 weeks ago?
It's a couple weeks now. Yeah, like 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah. And we finally got it set up, nailed down, and here we are, man. I remember the first time I met you was 23 at Jersey.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
when we
with Joey.
first, with Joe Lamadre, right? We'll talk all about Joe, but me and you, this is your introductory podcast, so it's about who you are, how you got on the two wheels to Bauce Racing and working with riders and all that good stuff. So the question is, the very first one, man, is where did your journey begin on those beautiful twos?
Um, oh man, I got my first four wheeler. Right. It was 1989 230 Suzuki Quad Sport 230. Right. I was in fourth grade. I was like 9 years old. I weighed 55 pounds. I know that's because the weight class I wrestled. Right. And I had to stand on the Kickstarter with 2 feet, and it was like a side kick, right? So I'd be like in the garage, right? And that's what I did every single day when I got home from school, was jump on that thing, and I would ride all the fields and stuff like that. We had a big area, miles and miles and miles. That's when I first started riding. Two wheels would be my first dirt bike was probably sixth grade, maybe. I had a friend that had one. He let me ride it. I already knew how to use a clutch and everything, so it was easy. And I got a 1989, another 89 Suzuki DR100, right? And then, yeah, it was sick. And then my dad taught me how to change the oil, right? Because he didn't want to fucking do it, And I don't blame him.
Right. I don't blame him, right?
Yeah, and I would be like, we got to go to the store. I need more oil. And he's like, what? What do you mean? It's like $10 a bottle, And I was just, why change the oil? He said, well, how often you change it? I was like, I don't know, whenever I want. And he was just like, and I was like, this is, like I'm like a kid, this is how this goes. So I used to ride that thing like every single day. And then it was just more dirt bikes, quads. Got a Quadzilla 500. I had the YFZ 450 quad when it came out. I even had a KX 100 at one point when I was an adult because I always wanted one. I got like 3 concussions on that thing and I had to go. And then I got my first street bike, an R6, right, which is what I'm really well known for. But it was a 2002 R6 carbureted bike. I got that in like 2010 maybe. I traded that 450 quad for it plus some cash. And then that's how I got like like sport bikes, right? That was my first sport bike. I remember the first time I like really got on it on that thing because I was like trying to be pretty responsible. It was this road right next to an airport, and I just rolled in it in second gear at like $5,000, and then that thing hit 10,000 RPMs, and I swear to God, like my eyeballs were like pushed into my head, and I was like, this is sick, because I grew up drag racing cars and building cars and stuff like that, and nothing compares to a bike, especially for the money. And then that was it. I was like, this is all I do. I was like, I'm doing nothing else other than ride this thing. That's it, and then track days happen, and then you want to go racing, and got a newer bike, start building that. I was really involved in the R6 forum when the message boards and the forums were really popular. That's kind of where I started my business off, and that's how I got started on two wheels, man. As a little kid, just crashing and ripping.
I want to take it back real quick. You said one word that nobody talks about today: carburetors, right? You mentioned the word carburetors. People are like, "What's a carburetor?" I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" Because that was my era too, as well, right? Pulling the carbs off, and
yeah. So we get people that call now because, like, for a while I would still take them at the shop, but it's just if you were to ask, right, you're a customer calling in the shop, we don't offer it anymore. But that's how I got like. I'm really good with carburetor tuning. Like, it's not a great thing to be awesome at, like, right? Like it's just, it's like a dying thing, and there's no question why. Like, I can dyno tune like 10 fuel injected bikes in the amount of time that it would take me to dyno tune a carbureted bike. And, unfortunately, like when the people get mad that I won't do it, I just be like, I mean, we could do it. It's just going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. Cause like, that's what time costs these days. Right. And it's unfortunate because like they sound sick, I mean, I have one customer with some really, really badass vintage bikes that I've done, like cool ones, not like really old shitty vintage bikes. Like, these things are sick. Like I'm talking like 99 and 01 R1s with ported heads and cams and pistons, like stuff that's really, really hard to tune. I recently did the one really old bike he's got though that I did do, which was, I promised, the last one ever. It's a ZX7RR with a ZX9 engine in it, punched out to 950, right? Different slides. And it was just crazy. And that thing was like a 9-month thorn in the side. And eventually talked to all these West Coast guys on like 3-way phone calls or whatever they call it now, conference calls, right? Trying to figure this stuff out. And it was like the smallest thing. Like we were at the point where we're going to have to get custom jets made for this. And we figured that what we ended up doing was taking vacuum hoses, right, and running them all the way up into the intake duct on the bike. And that pressurized the carbs, the bowls, which got us off like a 205 main jet down to like a 140, like something totally normal. And the bike's amazing now, but took like 9 months, dude. Like it was brutal, but yeah. So like I'm great at that stuff and I do love it, but it's just so much easier to type it into my computer and send it to your ECU,
Absolutely. It's plug and play, but nothing still sounds like a properly set up flat slide carburetors, right? That's properly set up. They fired it up. It's like, bro, that's beautiful right there.
It's so sick. So sick. Just the intake noise, it's unreal, and it sucks getting away from that stuff because those bikes had so much character, right? Like every single one of them runs different and nobody's got the same jets or everybody has an Ivan's jet kit or whatever, right? And they're never right, or it's not, it gets you by, but when you really get them nice, I mean, it's the sound and the mid range and everything that they do. It's really cool. It's like nostalgic right now, right? But unfortunately I can't.
Yeah. It's I got good at carburetors too, because when I grew up, riding in dirt bikes, that's how I, figured out the first carburetor. It was actually my buddy's dirt bike, and his dad, he's the same thing, showed us how to change the oil and he was big on the air filter. He would kick our ass if we didn't change that air filter, at least pull it out and clean it after every ride.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got my first motorcycle was 1996. It was ZX6R. I wanted the ZX7. It was my first street bike. My dad said no, and I was like, well, there's not really, it's the ZX7's a little bit faster, but not that much faster, right? I was trying to convince him, but I took it to the shop, and I bought a jet kit, ignition advancer, full titanium muzzy, piping header, and all this shit. Took it in there. 2 weeks go by, they called me up. They said, we can't get this thing to run. I said, don't touch it. I'm going to come pick it up. I'm not going to pay you for the full job, obviously, because you didn't do it. Brought it home. This is before YouTube. Ordered me a shop manual. Waited till that come in. Did it all myself. Drilled out the fuel mixture plugs, the whole nine. Got it running. Wrote it.
Oh, yeah.
That past weekend up to the bike night, we always had at Geo's, because that was our main dealership out here in Roanoke was Geo's. And they were like, how'd you get that thing running? I said, nobody's ever going to touch my bike again. Nobody. Nobody, right? Unless you're changing tires. I'll let you do that. But other than that, I'm doing it all myself. And that's what sent me down the path to go to MMI. So I ended up at MMI in Phoenix. And it's funny you said that the 99. So a buddy of mine there had a 2001 R1. And that was my first time riding that bike. And I was like, holy shit, dude. This is a whole new world compared to the 900 RR. Like, it's night and day different. Same thing. Another buddy bought a 99 R6, and it was just, I was like, dude, this thing's so light, it's ridiculous, It
was a sick bike. Like I had that bike, the 99 or the 02 R6, 99 to 02, right? So that's the generation. And, my friends that I was riding with, man, they had way newer bikes. It was like 2010, right? They had like 07, 750s, like all these cool bikes. Dude, I couldn't even get like this. Like all I wanted was like Pilot Powers, right? And like a fucking Power Commander or a Shorty Pipe, like everybody else had. And I couldn't have any of that stuff, So it's like, you got to get creative, Factory Pro velocity stacks, like pulling spark plugs, like just really getting into it, and it was the sickest bike. And And what kept me going with that bike was there's a local shop here, and that guy raced one. He's like, dude, that's a really good bike, because he had like an '05 on the floor there, and I really wanted it, but I couldn't afford it. And then the other reason why I really kept it was my really good friend that got me, he was a few years older than me, 3-4 years older, and he had that '01 or '02 R1, like the first one with like the LED light on the back. Like it was the game changing R1. It completely changed the entire sport bike industry, right? With the transmission stacked up nice. The swing arm was like a good size swing arm instead of the whole bike being a giant frame, like a ZX9 or 7, because the engine's half the fucking bike, you know, right? And he was racing before anybody I knew was racing. You used to have to corner work, right, to race. And he was doing the hammer school up at Pocono Raceway, and he's like on his R1, and he was to me, he was like the greatest rider in the world, right? And he's like, nah, dude, I was up there, and this kid blows by me, and I'm just like, who's that? I don't even know who that is. And then he was like, it just kept happening, and I was like, what the hell? It was Ben Speeds on a '99 R6 at the Hammer School coaching or whatever back then at Pocono, just crushing souls on a '99 R6. And I was like, oh, dude, I could do that. I couldn't, but I you know what I mean? It kept me going, dude, you know?
Yeah, it's funny because this past weekend, my boy Juju Carrera, big shout out to Juju, who's out there for the endurance race, and he was actually on a 600, and they let the 1000s race against 600s. Is two different, but they let him out on the same. Dude, absolutely killed it, bro. Won the race, and I was like, see, it's not all about horsepower, man. It's all about, you know, this is what I tell people. I was like, all these top racers that are super fast, they always take it back to the basics, the core fundamentals of riding, right? And I feel like as you grow and you get faster in the sport, some people kind of forget the core fundamentals of the actual riding, and they get in these roadblocks, and it's hard to break down that barrier, right, to go faster. I feel like if they just take it back, right, a step back, and go to those core values of body position and using your legs and weighing the inside peg and out, you know, all those things that go in it, it's easier for them to get past that boundary, is what I'm trying to say. So let me ask you this, you know, getting into street bikes, who got you into your very first track day? And tell me about your first track day experience, right? The newbie at the track, bro.
Yeah. So this is like a 2-part story then, for sure, right? Because the first one was a disaster. It was a wash, you know. But like I was supposed to go with my buddies, right? That the guy who did the Hammer School and everything like that, he had been showing me GoPro videos, like when the GoPro just sounded like hot garbage, right? Like ran on AA GoPros, you know, like people don't even know that stuff existed, right? Anyway, but I would see the videos of lightning because like there was no Thunderbolt yet, right? Back then, you know, and then eventually there was. So I was supposed to go with him and a couple of my buddies. And then we all went out to Washington Cycle Works, right? And Ron out that does suspension setups, especially back then. He was the guy, right? Like, oh, this guy's got books and books and books of setup stuff. And I was like, what? So anyway, we go out there, we get our suspension adjusted. You know, it's like September, like towards the end of the season. And it's like, we know the deal. We're in the country here. And the rut happens with the deer, and the deer get nuts or whatever. So we're on the way home. We're like not even 5 minutes from my house on this awesome, amazing back road. The roads out here are unreal, you know, and we hit this straightaway. It's like a straightaway with a hill that goes like this, you know, forever. And we go to take off, and I'm in like second gear because I'm like, I better get these downshifts, and they're all 1000s, you know. One guy was on the brand new Beamer, right, when it came out. The other buddy had a CBR 1000 RR, an '08 that was all nice, you know, C-bomb and all the cool stuff for it that I couldn't have, right? And we take off, dude, and a deer jumps like off the hillside right into the Beamer, splits this thing in half, right? So then their bikes are like down the road in front of me. They're tumbling like this. I'm on the front brake, and it's skidding over all the bike parts and carnage. And like my whole body was covered in like deer shit, you know, from the inside of the deer and everything. And I made it unscathed. They were actually fine, right? But I ran home, got my trailer, came back, towed the boys back here, whatever, you know, and everything was cool. So they're out for the track day. So I recruit another guy that I know. He's like, I'll go. And then he just, right before lunch, just the first session they let us out on our own. It was an absolute cycle track day. And he just like face planted in the chicane at Thunderbolt. And like he wasn't even speaking English, you know what I mean, right? Like I had to go to the hospital and everything. So I was like, got this taste of like 3 sessions, 1 session on my own. I was just on the gas, on the brake, shift, you know, right? And it was like, I was like this, and then I had to leave. And then I had to think about it. It was the last track day of the year, dude. And I just had to sit here in New Jersey in the winter, just dreaming of more track days until, May or April or whatever. It was the longest winter of my entire life, So the first one was a wash, right? But it was like, it bit me hard, like just everything does, especially speed. And I love telling this story. Day ever. So like I am working with this kid and he's on Gixxer.com, right? And I was on R6forum.com, and this was like the battle of the message boards, and he's like, me and my friends are going to do this track day if you want to go. And I was like, yeah, sure. And this was like before anybody had GPS. No, the phones didn't have GPS. I had like a BlackBerry, right? Or something stupid. And we all had to meet on I-95 at the Molly Pitcher Rest area. And you're going to love this. It's Bob Hines, right? Number 57, Bob Hines. He's like my nemesis. He's the F40 legend. He hit 25s at Jersey last year. He's even older than I am. And I did my first track days with those guys. And it's just a bunch of Gixxer assholes walking around on my R6, and they're just like his cousin or whatever. It's just like, so like, what's the deal with R6s, right? And I had like tire warmers on the bike with street tires and stuff. It was a disaster. It was awesome. And then they threw me out of the beginner group into the intermediate group, and then they like just shut up. They're like, all right, fine, whatever. And that was like when I first started doing track days, and then that was it, dude. It was just such a slippery slope. I had done 2 more days after that on the O2 R6. Then I did California Superbike School, which was really helpful. But I had to do that on my newer bike. I had an 08 R6 that I was building. I was like, I'm going to build an AMA spec bike, right? Like, so I had Olin's on it. It was crazy. I had like Rizoma mirrors and like carbon fiber shit wherever I could put it. It was like I had retrofitted headlights out of like an Infinity. You know what I mean? Right? Projectors. It was like, dude, it was absurd. It was probably the coolest bike in the world, to me, but not for the track. And then that was it. I just got on like track day slicks, and I was just burning through knee pucks, dude. I was like flipping them around. I don't even touch my knee on the ground anymore. But that's like how I started. That was my first season of track days. And it just was like, went just like credit cards were on fire. It was awesome. It was so memorable.
I was gonna say I ended up being broke real quick, right? It's like, yeah, I gotta get another credit card. Yeah, my credit's still good. Yeah, let me apply for this. Yeah, and then you max it out.
It was bad, dude.
3 or 4 months, but that's that's the beautiful part of also getting into the game, right? I just recently told my buddy he wants to get his kid into racing. He's 6, and I said, dude, my recommendation is either go to Jersey or Florida, SFL Mini GP, either one, right? Start there. And my next question is how much do you love money? He's like, oh, I love money. I was like, well, then don't go racing, bro, because you're gonna be
forget it.
Like, forget it. All that money you think you got, it's going. It's done within like a year, maybe, probably less than that, right? Because you got to go out and buy your kid a new bike, an Valet or whatever it is. You're gonna be like, God damn, eight grand for this thing, right? And then the work and yeah, dude, it's dedication for sure. But the beauty of it too is, it's always, sometimes, most of the time, I say this, it's passed down from generation to generation, the grassroots of racing. And then obviously from track days, what was your first race like, bro? Tell us your experience of your first race.
So like, believe it or not, I really didn't race a lot until recently, within the past few years, so I had my heart set on it. Like, I was training, I was paying for coaching. Like, I was always paying for private coaching. I was doing Superbike School. I was doing this. Did like 25 track days one year when Absolute Cycle had like their awesome membership, and track days were $99. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I still spent like 25 grand, like between the tires and the crashes and everything else, And so I was going to race, and I'm at the Friday track day or whatever, and like, I'm going through turn 10, and like the guy was an asshole, right? And on like a S1000 or whatever, and somehow like he hits me, and then like breaks my fairing stay, and like the bike's like falling apart. He crashed, I didn't crash anyway. It's like, and that like just that kind of like set me back, you know, because the bike was broken and I was kind of like, well, maybe I did something wrong, and it got in my own head. And yeah, I had like, I wasn't, I probably shouldn't have been racing anyway. I was like doing there was a lot going on in my life that really, it wasn't a good idea. And then I think maybe a year or two later, I did one race weekend at New Jersey. And for like ever, my banner, whatever the thing is at the top of Facebook, was the photo from that race. And it's me as an amateur with Mark Dickerson and Mark Schweber behind me. The year Mark Schweber won like 8 championships, but never actually won a single race. You know what I mean? Right. Because he had 2 bikes and, you know, he knew what the hell he was doing, and he finished so many races. You know, I mean, it like, you know, I learned a lot, and it was really only the one weekend, and I did pretty good. You know, I got like 170 points or something like that. And all I ever wanted to do was like, I need my points. I got to go expert. Then I could go and race AMA. And I had like this whole plan, and it just all went out the window. And then I didn't race again for, man, like 10, 12 years, maybe. That was probably 2013. And like 3 years ago, I did a Moto Gladiator race with Evolve at Summit, just to like do a race, you know, because I hadn't done it in so long. I used to do all the mock races at the Absolute Cycle track days. I used to coach for those guys and stuff, you know, help with their race school and everything. And the Evolve stuff with the Moto Gladiator was like exactly what I needed. It's exactly what most people need, right? You get to dip your toes in the water. You get a feel for some racing. You don't have to have everything you really need. You know, it's a novice race. It's for fun. But you get a little bit of a taste of it. And I did that. And then I rode my ass off, and I was training really hard. And I went down to Daytona, and I was an amateur because I never actually ever was an expert. And I went 6 for 6. And everybody called me a sandbagger. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. Like my first race was the F40 Unlimited, and I pull up next to like a brand new M1000 RR. And then the other side is a V4, whatever. Awesome dude. Awesome guy riding it too. You know, love that guy, Jace. And he's next to me. And I'm just like, well, I signed up for the wrong race, huh? It was like F40, dude. It just said F40. It didn't say F40, 200 horsepower, you know? Right. And I had my R6. It's an '08 R6 super bike, though. It's like 140 horsepower. It's just the dumbest thing ever, you know? And I just rode the wheels off that thing, had the time of my life. And I just won that race. I didn't even know. I mean, like I came over the start finish, and I saw the man doing something with a flag, and I was like, dude, this race is done, man. Whatever. And then bikes went by, and I had to like do it again. And then I realized, because like at Daytona, you know, if you're too fat to get behind the windshield, you can't see anything. And like, you know, right, it's going like this, and you're doing 170, and the banking is like 13 degrees. So the man is down there, you know, right? Like he's like 20, 30 feet below you, and you have to like, you know, so I didn't even know. And then I just had the best race weekend anybody could probably ever have, you know? And then I was like, all right, well, I got to keep doing this now, I guess. And I try. It's just doing what I do and doing what I do for everybody. It's difficult, but all of my racers and my customers, they've got a lot of respect for us now, and they let us ride. And, you know, they hover, you know, right? Like I could be taking off warmers, but they'll at least stand there and wait, you know what I mean? Until I'm not dying to like ask me for help or whatever. But, so I really never raced all that much, you know, to be honest.
Yeah. So where did this whole Bauce Racing start? Like how did all this come? Is that something you always wanted to do?
No. So, I mean, so what happened is when I wanted to start racing, right? It was like 2011 and 12. You know, you're doing too many track days. It's really expensive. Nobody can afford it. And then I was doing like a lot of side work and stuff. I sponsored Alex Barrera. He raced on my bike at AMA at New Jersey, and I did a lot of trackside stuff with him. And at that point in time, I was doing one of the first people with the ECU flashing software. I was helping the company that was developing it, like with testing and stuff like that. And that, you know, I kind of like was like growing my knowledge about racing, the setup, this stuff, the tuning, you know, the bike and all that. And I started selling like oil change kits, right? I started a business, you know, and I just started selling oil change kits online, and nobody was doing it. Like this was before Amazon, you know, right? So like you would go to the dealership, and a bottle of Motul oil would be like, you know, $70 or whatever. But I would sell you like 3 liters of oil and a filter for like $60 or whatever shipped. I had like these, you know, regional rate boxes. I had it down to a science. It was sweet. And, I wasn't making a ton of money doing it, but I was doing something. And then I got an account with Woodcraft, Jan over there. Like, she was just like, well, your references are my other customers. And I was like, well, yeah, but those guys know me, right? And she's like, you know what, I'll give you an account. You got to buy in. And I was like, sure. And then, so I started with them. I pre-sold some body work and I did this and that, and I hit the ground running, and I was really only selling Woodcraft and Motul, right? Like, and like maybe grips, something. Like, I had like one distributor, I had nothing. And then I had to rent space, because you need a retail location, and then it just snowballed, and then a lot of things in my life changed, and like I was like, I'm just gonna do this right now, and I love it, and if I'm broke, man, whatever, and I knew I would never be rich, running a bike shop and having a motorcycle business, but like every day is fun, like not every day is fun, but it's more fun than what most people do on a daily basis. I can tell you that. And I can be myself. I can be, the asshole that I am, or a sweetheart sometimes too, just what I do, whatever I want. It's pretty good.
I tell people that I'm not an asshole. I'm the hemorrhoid that irritates the asshole, right? So yeah, I feel you on that. That's awesome. So
yeah,
where did the name Bauce Racing come from?
Just like a boss, we were just always saying it was like because the Rick Ross era, you know what I mean, right? And then I was just like, well, we could spell it like Bauce, or like sauce with a B, and it's not even a word, and nobody can understand it. Like, anytime I call somewhere and I try to give them my email, just like, what? And I'm just like, oh God. And that's, and it just, because I branded it, and like, it's fine, like nobody else is gonna have that because it's not even a real word. So like, it doesn't have any crazy significant meaning. It was just something that happened, and that's how it went. And I just kept running with it,
I love it.
Yeah. Everybody asks, like, it's going to be a good story. Like, it's my last name or my middle name, or, a dead relative. It's not.
Yeah. I was wondering, I was like, I wonder where we come up with the name from, right? It's,
it's like sauce with a V.
Somebody, there are some people that's got these crazy stories on how they get their names, and yeah. So,
wow.
So you developed your shop, Bauce Racing. You're building race bikes. I want to talk about the software, the dyno jet. The whole getting away from the carburetors, getting in the fuel injection, all those little red, green, yellow squiggly lines, and all that stuff, right? Yeah. So obviously that's a skill trade. You gotta study it and do it to understand it. So obviously, as the bikes went away from carburetors and getting into fuel injections, you got more and more into that, right? So explain to people, tell me the normal routine of, if I was going to bring my RC51 and say, I need you to tune this thing, what do you do to make it happen?
So RC51, because it's an old bike, right? Like, but it is fuel injected, which is great, right? But it's because it's an older bike, like we can't tune the ECU on the bike. So the factory computer that's on that bike, it is what it is, right? Like, so we can't touch that. So a bike like that would have to have a power commander, dyno jet power commander. That's what we would recommend for you. It's an easy install. They're usually 99% plug and play. They've got color instructions on their website. The saving grace with that is that all the maps that are available on there are absolutely garbage, right? So anytime somebody would have a power commander on the bike, we would it's a lot of people with dynos still try to use power commanders, even though it's not nearly the better way to do anything. But it's quick. You can tune a bike in like an hour, 45 minutes, half hour, whatever it is. But basically what that thing is considered a piggyback fuel controller. You got a little box like this that's on the bike. It plugs in line to your fuel injectors, right? It'll get an RPM signal from somewhere, and also a throttle position signal, whether it plugs in line to the throttle position sensor, or you tap a wire, whatever it might be. And your factory ECU, your factory computer, will send a pulse, right? Pulse width is how long the injector stays on, right? So it sends this signal to the fuel injector. The power commander intercepts it. And then let's say at 10,000 RPMs at 100% throttle, now I can add 5% more fuel. So it intercepts the signal, increases the pulse width 5%. Now you have more fuel going into the bike. And so basically with the dyno machine, of a dyno jet dyno, we sample the horsepower, the torque, RPMs, and the air-fuel ratio. The air-fuel ratio is the mixture of fuel and air going into the engine measured in the exhaust gases, right? So a lean bike needs more fuel. A bike like that every bike comes lean from the factory for emissions, fuel economy, blah, blah, blah. They come with a big giant exhaust that you take off that now flows so much more air through the engine, whether it's an air filter, velocity stacks, the exhaust. You need to enrich the fueling mixture, and that's what we can do with a Power Commander. And it's quick and it's easy. We don't do it often anymore because it's just not a good setup. It's not the best, right? So now we prefer to do ECU tuning. And back in that 2010 era, the only way, this is how I got into it, because my '08 R6 was restricted from the factory, like most US bikes are. The European ones aren't. And at that point in time with the R6, what people were doing and what you had to really do was you had to buy the race ECU and a harness, right? The GYTR stuff now, it was called YEC back then. And the only place that you could get it, the only place was Graves. And they're like, well, no, we're not getting those until September. We order twice a year. And you just, that's it. You couldn't get it. And it's just like, oh, I've got the $2,500 though. Like, sell it to me, and you can't. So you just have to keep riding your restricted bike. And that's how I got into the ECU software stuff. So Flash Tune came out, and I found it right away because we were, I was involved in like a lot of the online forums and communities and stuff. And I got the gold box that they had, and you paid $500 or whatever, and you could flash as many ECUs as you wanted to your heart's content. So I took my bike before I had a dyno, took my bike to a dyno in Connecticut. That guy, John, was a great guy, a big help to a lot of us. He was actually pretty big in the street racing community with the New York guys and stuff like that. The guys that were running the Long Island TT and whatever, this guy, John, was the man. You'd go to his dyno, and that was the baseline dyno, right? Like if you had good numbers on that dyno, you knew you were good to go because that's where most of the people went. So I paid him to sit on the dyno, and while I did the computer, and it just took forever. And, I started developing, my tunes, back then. And then with Alex on the R6, this guy, he was an amazing rider, but like if you messed up the bike, he would go a second slower. Every lap would be within a tenth or two if he was on decent tires and whatever, So the stuff that I was doing, that's when I came up with engine braking stuff, better drive-by-wire mapping, like all this stuff that really smoothed that bike out that nobody was doing, And not to mention you could remove the ECU restrictions and whatever. So I had this stuff, these products created, and then I was already on the R6 forum and stuff like that, and I started offering the flash ECUs. I had somebody meet me, I think it was Ryan Jones, right, way back, and I was like the only person doing it. I had this R6 that was going to go race at Daytona in October, and like he's just like, the thing was a turd. So he stops by here on his way, basically, right? And I flash the ECU for him at my house because, like, that's how you do business when you're starting a business. You do business at 10 o'clock at night, doesn't matter. And anyway, he's like, no. Then I made 4 or 5 more horsepower in the dyno, and I went down to Daytona and I crushed it. And I was like, it's cool, And so at that point, though, it was like me and almost nobody else doing it. And anybody else that was doing it wasn't putting in the time that I was. And that's how I got really well known for tuning and ECU work and stuff like that. And then as newer models came out and different software, and Flash Tune became FTECU, and then Woolwich eventually came out. They bought their software from somebody else and honored some of the deals that they had. And then it just went from there. And now it's all gotten, significantly more advanced, and the bikes are more advanced, but the premise is still there. We were doing drive-by-wire stuff with the Yamahas forever when no bikes really had that, so like the engine braking, the throttle mapping, like all that stuff was, I had already been doing it like long before anybody even had the ability to do it, and that's how I got really well known for tuning. And that's my specialty is tuning, ECU tuning. I mail ECUs all over the world, all over the country. We got customers in Canada. A guy from Jamaica came to my shop the other day for me to flash his ZX10. And then I was just like, dude, this guy Seymour. And he's just like, what? And he's like, how do you know that guy? I'm like, because he's racing an R6 in Jamaica, and I was doing his ECU like 8 years ago. I would mail his sister brake pads. She'd put them in a suitcase and like smuggle them in, right? Like it was like, there's like, I've been doing stuff like that for like ever, and I love it. It's fun, man. You just take fast shit and make it way faster. It's cool.
It's definitely an art form, right? The whole electronical side of things, like you said, the engine braking, the anti-wheelie. Now it's stock bikes, especially the newer 1000s, are just, they got everything you can imagine on them electronic wise. And I told my wife, I was like, dude, if we had launch control back in the day, I'd be in jail 10 times over, because every stop sign, stoplight I come up to, I just be like, bam, let's go. Yeah,
That's my
man. And
favorite,
then
dude. We have like some some of the jixers and stuff that we do, like we can put launch control on them for like no extra charge, right? Like, because we still use some of this older software, on certain bikes and stuff. And then like these dudes love that shit. They're like, well, so how do I do it? And you're just like, oh man, hold on, dude. And you're just so much fun. I mean, I think it's a joke for road racing, but it's really cool for drag racing if you can really spend time to dial it in. But road racers, I'm just like, dude, you don't need launch control. You don't.
no, dude, that's a mistake I think MotoGP did, with the whole launch control, because everybody's doing the same speed, perfect starts in the same corner,
Yeah.
and they wonder why they're having so many instances in the first lap on the first corner. Well,
Yeah.
don't take a
See,
genius
like
to
in that
me.
situation, it can work, or drag racing where you have nobody in front of
Yeah,
you. But like in a club race or Moto America, especially, like what we do, forget it. You've got one guy who like he like can't get out of neutral, right? His hands are up. You got this guy's wheeling over here. He's about to crash into you. That guy misses his shift, right? So like there's, you know what I mean? Like it's every race and every launch is completely different. Like you can get the best launch of your life, but you're going to have to let off or dodge or, something. And it just makes it so inconsistent that you need to like be able to adapt to the different conditions of every race start. So like, as much as I love the sound of launch control, just like you do, like for road racing, it's just like, come on, man, you don't need that. You do not need it. Just figure out how to launch your bike, dude. Get better, do better.
yeah. I feel like I'm double sided on this whole electronic thing. Like I love it. Now I see the benefits, especially for somebody getting new into this sport that don't have a lot of experience, and they buy a 1000, right? Now they can set on all the high traction control, and they're not intimidated or scared by it, right? And the more they progress, they can take a little way here and there. I just feel like you lose some natural riding ability riding a bike with no electronics on it, blipping the throttle and the clutch downshift, letting it back in and using the clutch the whole time. And it's like, that's no more. That don't exist no more,
Yeah.
especially with the auto blippers. I remember the first time I rode a bike with the auto blipper, I had to think. I was like, okay, this is weird as shit. It's a different type of riding, but I just feel, again, I just feel like it takes away some of the natural skills required to just.
Yeah. I mean, if these guys had to like hold a brake and blip a throttle at the same time, like what you would just see is like bikes diving, going down the fucking straightaway, right? And the turn one just, like,
Oh, washing out.
yeah. Like once in a while, like every bike will have an issue, even mine, right? And then like 1 year at Daytona, I had to like clutch shift, upshifts, downshifts worked, which is thank God, right? Because like I didn't ride for 10 years on the track because I just didn't have the money and I was building my business and whatever. And then when I finally came back, it was to a private track day at Thunderbolt, right? It was like 11 of us or 10 of us. It was catered by Chick-fil-A, which was even better than anything, right? But I got to ride on a track like, with like 8 people, Thunderbolt of all places. I mean, we were just like doing race launches. We were doing whatever we wanted, wheelies down the straightaway. It was pretty much the best day of my life. But I really chalk up me getting back on a pace so quickly because of that auto blipper. Like I had like run off in turn one. I mean, if you've ever been out there in turn one at Jersey, like it's probably better now, but it was ugly. They had like this pavement and then it went into like a gravel pit. And then like, I mean, I've hit that wall and like got thrown backwards like 8 feet, So like I had a complex about that turn. And I really think that just being able to grab the brake and just, I think it was a big deal. But I think having that background and that training, right, and like those reflexes is a major advantage, and a lot of people don't. They're not going to get that anymore. But the electronic side of these new bikes, though, like when the 15R1s came out, like that was it. And I was like, for me, like the Beamers sucked. Like you do a wheelie and it would slam the tire down so hard that it would do like, you'd see them at the track. They'd be like doing a wheelie and then it would be like bounce up again and again. They'd do like 3 down the straightaway, And the R1s, like when first time you saw one just hover that tire like a foot off the ground, like just like, I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? And then that's when you finally had seamless electronics and IMUs and things that work well instead of just like an ignition cut or a timing retard traction control with 2 wheel sensors that just all does is put the bike on its face, And so when that stuff came out and people started to embrace it, I mean, they say like the new R1s, right? Like that's the cheat code. That's the retirement plan for all of us, right? Like maybe like another few years, maybe you'll see me on an R1, still doing good lap times at the track because it's like, it's the cheat code. It's the retirement plan. We need that. We need that.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's cool.
I'm in the same boat, man. Yeah, I need that too, man. I ain't gonna lie, because we're not getting. I call it getting younger in life. We're not getting older. We're getting younger, and a lot of people are like, why do you say that? Because when we're born, we have. Well, some of us have hair. A lot of us don't. We got no teeth. We're in diapers. We eat soft food. As we get older, we lose our hair, and some of us lose our teeth, and some of us go back in diapers, and there you go, right? And we're eating soft food again, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, man, but
goes full
motorcycles is a
circle.
beautiful thing, man, and I tell people that it's unlike any sport in the world.
Yeah,
The paddock, the atmosphere, the people. It's hard
yeah,
to explain to people that's never experienced it, right? You could tell them all these things, but when you show up and they feel it and they get it, you see their eyes get big. They're like, "Oh
oh,
my
it's
god, this is
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
absolutely amazing."
I got my
It really
buddy. We
is.
were bringing his kid around a couple times this year. We took him to Summit for Memorial Day, or no, before Memorial Day, for the Moto Gladiator. I took him up to Pocono. He's 9, kid's 9, right? And he's like good with his hands, and he's like attentive. Like he can't pay attention to anything, but you put him in front of a bike, he's dialed, man, locked in, and he's just like. You took him to Pocono, especially. It was just like 'cause the NASCAR cars are there, that NASCAR experience shit or whatever, and like you see him, he's just like. And guys like us, we're around this forever. It's like, yeah, dude, like I could have the worst week of my life, and I get to the racetrack, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, all is well, right? But it's when you see somebody new come to it, and you see that like twinkle right in their eye, and you're just like, oh, you're fucked, you're done, dude.
Yeah,
This is
you're
over.
fucked. You're so fucked, dude.
That's
Yeah.
it. You're done, bro. Like that's it, dude. You're gonna get a MotoGP video pass. You know what I mean, right? You're gonna watch Moto America and yell at the screen, and can't wait to talk shit to those kids when you see them. Like this is the beginning of the end. It's a scene like no other, and what you can get out of it. Like there's much more that you can get so much out of it. Like we always used to say, like I know a lot of the mini GP guys say it too. But like they're raising men out of these kids. And the adversity and the challenges that you overcome, even at a track day, right? Like, but especially racing motorcycles, man, forget it. Like, you might finish a weekend and it could be the worst weekend of your life, man. But by the time you get done with that, and then you go to work on Monday or whatever it is, or you come home and maybe your wife yells at you, or maybe the kid's a pain in the ass, maybe the dog throws up, who knows, right? Eats your remote, whatever it is, and you're just like, no big deal, dude. You should have seen my weekend. It was a fucking nightmare. Right. And then you just like, it gives you this perspective that like makes everything else in life seem, like it's not that big of a deal. You can just handle it, but it also like skews your perspective for everything else, right? Like finances and
100%, dude. I feel like that every time I come home, they're like, "Oh, the dog ate yours." I'm like, "I don't care. It's cool. I can buy another one. It's good,
no
right? We're good.
Deal.
Let's
Whatever.
go."
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. So, going from obviously being in racing, being this absolute genius and legend with the whole tuning world on motorcycles, when did you decide to take somebody racing under your wing? How did that start?
Yeah, it's a great story. So, I've been tuning bikes. I do like a lot of tuning for other shops and stuff like that. I do tuning for dealerships. Like I sent an ECU out to Long Island Cowie today. Those guys are great over there, and I was at Summit Point for one of the rounds. We used to have 3 rounds a year there. 3. I don't know who's listening, right? But we'd like to have 3 again, right? So, I was at Summit, and I'm like up in
Azra, if you're listening, because I know you listen, Azra, let's go. We've been there twice already. Let's make it one
right
more.
here.
Yeah.
So up in the turn 10 tower right there, and I just see this kid, the stupid mohawk, and he's like this little kid or whatever, Joe, and this dude says Fast Joe, and I was just like, man, who's this guy? And then eventually, who's this kid? Everybody's talking about him, and I hadn't really even seen him ride because, like, I'm busy. But anyway, meet Big Joe, his dad, and he was just like, hey, you're the one that he's having issues with the quick shifter on the Ninja 300 or whatever. He's like, you did the ECU, right? Mike sent it over to you or whatever. And I was like, yeah, no problem. And he's like, yeah, I'll get your information. So then he reaches out and he's like, hey, I want to make the bike a little faster. Let's get it on the dyno. And I was like, yeah, sure, So I told the story. I guess it was on camera, right? Or they interviewed me for the documentary about the kid, right? The Underestimated. So this story is in there.
I watch all of them. I love it, dude.
Yeah, it's so good, right? I didn't think it was gonna be that good. I was like, oh man, we're a bunch of we're knuckleheads. It's So, but anyway, I tune the bike. I make it faster. It's definitely like running way better. Not like tons faster, but it did get better. So I'm at Thunderbolt, and I don't really know I don't really know Big Joe yet. I don't know the kid, you know, and I like see him on Saturday or whatever, and he like comes by and he's like fucking pissed, man. He's not happy, you know. And he's like, I don't know, man. The kid's losing. The kid lost the race. He never loses to these guys, never. And I was just like, well, the bike's not slower, dude. Like, I don't know what to say, you know, right? And I was like, fuck. And he leaves, and Pablo, who works for me, is just like, dude, I don't know if this is a good idea with these kids, you know, because I'd never done it. But I've seen like the South Park episodes, like where the sports parents like fight each other and stuff, you know, right? And like, I was just like, man, child athletes, I don't know about this. So
I got $20 on that dad over there. Yeah.
So then I see him like later in the weekend, and I was like, yo, is everything cool? Because like I definitely avoided him. You know, right? I don't want to think so fucking big dude, man. He was pissed. So I avoided him kind of, you know, and then I see him. He's just like, oh, yeah, no, we just had the wrong sprockets of the bike. Won every race. So then after that, he wanted the bike to be even faster. So we tuned it on T4. Then we put a real exhaust on it instead of a slip on. So it was on the dyno again. And that's like how I started with Joe and Big Joe and Little Joe. And then I was just like kind of invested in it a little bit. And I was like, well, let's go, you know, because I was starting to see who he was now. And he was getting like a pretty good following, and he was obviously just killing it, you know? So I was like, let's see whatever happens. So then he gets a 400, and I didn't do their first 400. He went to Moto America on it, and he's just like, you know, it wasn't quite fast enough or whatever, or this or that. And then COVID happened. Right. And then there was like nothing going on. I was at the Daytona 200 when they threw us out. Right, when it was a CCS race, you know, with Anthony Sabatino and, you know, a bunch of old friends and stuff. You know, we had a little program that we were trying to put together for that race, and they sent us home. And then there was no racing, and I was like, well, this sucks. And we just filled the shop with bikes, and I was like, dude, they can't tell me I can't work. But then they said like automotive was essential, and I was like, there's like 3 license plates on 2 out of the 40 bikes here, you know, like this is cool. We got this, and just kept trucking. And then Moto America came back, and Big Joe was just like, hey, why don't you come down to Atlanta? You know, come to Atlanta with us. And I had done, I had been a part of Ricky O'Hare's crew when he raced Moto America on his R1. I did all the tuning on his bike and stuff, and I helped crew chief that team. You know, it was kind of like a group effort, but you know, I was working on the bike the whole time and stuff, and he got a podium, 3rd place at Jersey in the pouring rain. It was miserable, but that was my first Moto America thing. And then Big Joe asked me to go to this, and I was like, dude, yeah, let's go. Right. So I looked at the Moto America schedule, and I just blocked off the calendar. I was like, we're going racing, dude. That's it. I flew down to Atlanta, and once again, Dickie Schweber, right, Ashley Powell, I didn't know until then, you know, and those guys were like helping out. They were like, and then like, look, I'm Italian, and so is Big Joe, and he's just like, dude, we're gonna have good food. We're gonna have good food. Just come down to Atlanta. We're gonna have good food. And I was like, all right, dude. And so I get there, it's got like 2 trays of chicken cutlets, you know, and I was like, oh, dude, like the only person that makes cutlets is me. Right? Like, what do you mean? Like, this is great. And then it just like we started having a good time, and they were having some issues with the chassis stuff, and I talked to Mike, you know, Mike Felice, and he's like, dude, you know what you're doing, man. Just throw some springs at it. Do whatever you think you got to do. And I was like, all right, man, that was a confidence boost that I needed, because I was like the new guy there with the team or whatever. And we went my way with the bike, and it got better and better. And the kid was in the top 10, and we were like, just wanted to start moving up from there. And I was like, all right, dude. So I come back, and they bring the bike to the shop. I retune it, we make some more power, and then we go to the next weekend. Right. And it was just keep chipping away. And then after that, I was like, all right. So then that was like 2020, and then 21 came, and we did a little bit more, and we were heavy with the bike. And then 2022, I was like, dude, Big Joe was like, we're going to do the whole thing, the whole series. And I was like, all right, man. And we had been working really close, you know, and I was like, all right, well, let's put it together. So we got a few engines, we had an engine rotation. Yeah. We did it to the best of our ability, and we did a really great job. We had 10 podiums, you know, kid had 2 wins. He won at Laguna. Yeah. And as a team, we worked our asses off. Uda Torres, right? He does all my engine work. UTR Performance, he's a beast. He's a genius, right, with the engine stuff. And he would meet me at the shop, I swear, every single Monday on my day off and his day off or whatever. We'd go to the shop, and we'd put in at least 8 hours with that Ninja 400. I do not love those bikes. Ninja 400, right? And Tyler Scott's dad, he was just like, yeah, dude, with the R&D stuff, I'm going to tell you right now. And I was like, yeah, tell me, because I'm like losing my mind with this thing, right? He goes, every 40 hours you spend, what you'll find is you'll have spent 39 hours finding out what doesn't work. right? And I was just like, no shit, dude. I mean, we were trying 0-8 oil in a hot engine with the bike on the dyno, right? Any spark plug that would fit in the hole, we did. Came in and we did 5, 6, 7 different cam timing setups, valve clearances. We were cryo treating the cam chains because they stretch, right? And after 2 weekends, the timing's off 2 degrees, and that's like a horsepower, and that's a lot on a turd, you know. So, and that's just how it started, and it just kept going, you know, right? And then I put him on one of my R6s. I bought my best man Dan's R6 and cleaned it up, fixed it up or whatever, and took him up to Pocono. And then he raced that at a Moto Gladiator race at Pocono. So this Moto Gladiator stuff is like, it's a great stepping stone for like a lot of people, even a kid who's a pro, right? First time ever on an R6, and he won the one race and he got second place in the other race, right on the back of Greg Nisk. Like, if you know him, right? He's a ripper on and he's on an R1, and the kid's on a stock engine R6 that he rode one time. Like, his first lap he ran off in turn 1, right? And then by the 5th lap he was backing it into turn 1. I was just like, right? And so then that was the season that we were doing all the full season of Moto America 2022, and they paid money. Right? They had enough entries to pay money. So he's like, wait, I won some money, didn't I? And I was like, I don't know. Did you, bud? Go find out. So he comes back. He's got the bucks. He's like, oh, yeah. So I'm just like, well, that's cool, dude. Those are my tires. That's my bike. You're welcome. Like, and he's just like, oh. And I was like, this is what you got to do, buddy. You take that money and get yourself a really nice set of podium glasses for when you're on the podium at Moto America in a couple weeks. And he was like, oh, yeah. Pit Vipers on the podium next round, and like, when you have experiences like that, like, how can you not do it, right? Like, what's better? Like, there's nothing better. Like, how can you not do it? You have to keep doing it, and then it became more of like, obviously whatever I could do for the kid, right, in the program. But like, for me, you get to a certain point with motorcycles, whether it's tuning, suspension, chassis stuff, does not matter. Even if it's riding, right? You get to a point where like nobody's going to help you, or like they're not really capable of helping you, or they're not willing to. And then the only person that might know as much or near what you do is going to be like a competitor, whether it's a business competitor or another racer or whatever. Thankfully, like with club racing and stuff like that, everybody helps everybody. Like, dude, there's countless times I'm in my pit and everybody's hanging out at night and they're just like, oh, dude, you're parking it in turn 3. You know what I mean? Right. And then the next day the dude beats him because he's not parking it in 3, and like, there's that. But like, with what we do at this higher level, it's to the sharp end of things, right? Like, there's nobody to help. So you have to go compete, and you have to compete at a higher and higher level to get better and better and gain more experience, and things have to matter more. And the format of a professional race weekend, like Moto America, you've got 3 days with a handful of guys and one bike, one rider, and you are focused on one bike, one rider, one track for 3 full days. I mean, we're looking at track maps all night, looking at data, sector times, this, that, and that took my chassis work and tuning and intuition and rider coaching and stuff like that to like the next level and the next level and the next level, and the kid's a top 10 Moto America Super Sport rider every time he's on the track. Testament to him and our team and his parents and his family, and you start having all these achievements, and you just, how could you stop, right? Like, how could you?
You can't, right? It's it's the best drug in the world, 110%. And being with Joe Jr. and Joe Sr., right, and watching him grow up, and you being part of that and part of his whole journey. It's a family. It's not just a kid you kind of help here and there and say hi and this and that. It's a completely different game, and to see where he is now. He was in top 6, I think, at Mid Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, on the MV Augusta.
He was up there. It was maybe 7th or 8th or something. He's still in the top 10. I don't think he's broken into the top 5 yet. He will. He will for sure.
Dude, he'll.
There's no question.
Man. He's got all the talent in the world. He's got everything you need to have as a rider to make it. He's got the skill. He's got the looks. He's got the social media presence. He's good in front of the camera. He's good with people. He's got the energy. That's,
Yeah.
and that's what people want, and that's what people want to see. So I want to get to a couple of these comments real quick. Mikey Jack says, first track days are the most memorable. With a big laughing emoji. Yeah, it is. I remember
They are.
when I did my first track day, and then they did the mock-up race, and I remember I come back 2 weekends later for my first race. Like, I didn't read the book, right? So I go up to Tech, dude, and they look at me. They're like, dude, none of your shit's safety wire. And I said, what the fuck is safety wire? And they laughed at me. They said, dude, obviously you didn't read the book, did you? I was like, no. So I go back, I'm bummed, I'm disappointed. I was like, safety wire? What the fuck is this guy talking about safety wire? And, this is the beautiful paddock, right? Especially at club level. He's like, hey, mate, I got you. I tell you, this is your first time. Come on. And they drilled the bolts, did the whole safety wire, the speed pliers and all that. And I was just fast. I was like, dude, this is cool as shit. Went out and got my own and practiced. And yeah, but the first track days are definitely the most memorable. Now, when we show up, right, to a track day event or a club race event, you can totally tell the new guy. You're like, yeah, see that guy over there? He's absolutely brand new. He has no tent. He has no generator. He has just a cooler and an umbrella and maybe a lunchbox. That's it,
The whole drive down to my first one. I mean, I didn't even sleep the night before, like whatever. And then driving down the night before the track, I just in the car and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna drag this knee right here. You see this knee? Fucking dragging it. That knee, that one too. Not at all. Not even a little bit, dude. But it was just like mind blown, man. Thought I was like this awesome rider, right? And I get on the track and I get absolutely just like my doors blown off by like a dude who's like 60 something years old, right? And then a chick, girl. And I was just like, and then you realize you're like, dude, I suck. And you thought you were super cool, dude. And the perspective comes in and the potential, and then forget it. The second track day, third, fourth, fifth, you're dropping seconds. You know what I mean? Right. You're like, look at that tire. The best, dude. There's nothing better. You know what I mean? Right. Like now it's to the point where it's just like, you got to really, really love this stuff to keep doing it because of the amount of effort. It's so much easier to not do this stuff. You could get 5 track days on a tire, right? And hang out with the boys, open trailer, maybe like an SUV, like the best. First track day is the best ever.
It is. And then, you see the whole side of the ego side of things. Cause I never had the ego going in. I was just like you. I think most of us are. We do the little squid thing on the street. We think we're Ricky Road Racer. We put on first leather suit. I'm fucking Superman, bitch. I'm dragging everything. Right. And then you show up to your first, race and yeah, you look down in your tank. I'm like, where the fuck did this pie come from? Right. Like, what is this about? And it's, but I feel like, I don't feel like it's a fact. You got people that come in and they can't let that ego go and they never progress or they just never come back. And then you got people that you see, come in, they have that ego, but they're also willing to listen and learn. And you see that ego go away. And that's when they really make that progression. Right. Yep. And you're just like, dude, this is it right here, So yeah, man, we got Spencer Humphreys, dude. What is up, my man? He says BGT.
Oh,
Let's
man.
go.
That is fantastic. Yeah, so that's Big Gay Tone. That's me. Big Gay Tone. Had an engine sitting in the shop, right? The 2 mil R6 engine sitting there for like ever that I just like wouldn't use, you know what I mean, right? And it had a piece of tape across the throttle, where the throttle wires sit, the intake ports, and Pablo wrote on it in a marker. Pablo works for me. He wrote on it, Big Gay Tone. And then that's it, man. Everybody that came through. Then I lost like a bunch of weight in the past couple of years. And some of them started calling me Medium Gay Tone. You know what I mean? Right. Like, and I can't even be mad that he did that. I have talked so much shit to Spencer Humphreys. There was a period of time like where he like got his hair cut and he just looked like a little pixie lesbian, with like a little nose ring and everything. It was so fucking cute. Oh my God. So that's for you, Spencer. Thank you.
I love it, man. That's fucking awesome. Congratulations on your weight loss journey, bro. It's dude, I did that, dude. I tell people this story, dude. I was 270 pounds in a 40-inch waist. I just weighed myself. I was 184 pounds this morning. I'm in a 33 waist, right? So it's
buddy.
It's been a long journey, right? It's all right here. As we know, racing's all mental side of things. As you know, too, your whole engine tuning and doing all this on it's you got to know what you're doing, but still, it's right here. It's the mental, right? The happier you are here, the more you focus on what you're doing and don't let the outside stuff come in. Yeah. The easier it is, right? Or the easier it can be. So yeah, man, we got Def Fred says Bauce Racing
For the
TW. Let's
win.
go.
For the
Yeah,
win. So
baby.
Dirt Fred is one of the OGs from the R6 forum, right? From way back. Me and him used to do track days together in like the 2010 through 13 era of track day riding. He had a '07 R6. He's like one of my, old friends, original riding buddies. And now me and him are back to being friends. We actually are on an ice hockey team together.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice. Ice hockey, man. I went to my first hockey game. Let's see, I've been doing this 3 years. So about a year and a half of me taking over the podcast, I get a phone call from Allstate, an email from Allstate wanting to invite me to our Roanoke Hockey League. And I'm like, Allstate wants to talk for a podcast? Let's go, right? So they invited me out there, full VIP thing, this and that. And dude, it was fucking crazy because I'm down there on the fourth floor. I'm touching the fucking plexiglass and they're banging into it. I'm like, let's go. I was pumped, dude. Like they're fighting. I was just like, oh. And then, so I didn't know this about hockey. Everybody takes their hat off and they throws it in the ring. And I had my hat and I was getting ready to chuck and I looked at my hat. I was like, hell no, I ain't throwing this hat out in the ring. What are you doing? Yeah, I ain't doing that. Yeah, it's staying right here. But it was such a different, unique experience, and the adrenaline. It's just like you watch it on TV, but you go see it in real life. You feel the energy and it's just, bro, absolutely insane. They actually wanted to do a full sponsor on the podcast, but they wanted me to change some stuff, and I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. So,
dude, always be who you are, man.
Dude, straight up. That's what got me here, man. I'm not doing it for money. I never intended on this for money.
I've been living by that, and it bites me sometimes, but. Stay true to your roots, be who you are, and stick with it, man. Hard work, being good to people, it'll pay off.
Dude, part of that is why you are where you are, and me too, right? Is staying true to yourself. And dude, money, it's like I tell people all the time, money's fake. Do we need it? Yeah, we do. At the end of the day, it's fucking fake, dude. It's bullshit anyway, right? Just like social media. Dude, we can go on this whole dark path about all that, but yes, dude, it's all
fucking started, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get angry.
Right. And then we got the legend himself, Bazooka Joe, in the house.
There he is.
Never seen anyone who runs strictly on hot dogs and monster rehabs work so hard. Thanks for everything, Ant.
It's true, dude. I do love hot dogs. I do. The glizzies, as the kids call them now. Glizzies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. No, for sure, man. Yeah. Anytime, buddy. But yeah, monster rehabs all day. And definitely hot dogs whenever I can get them, for sure. Big Thumans guy.
Yeah, I'm a hot dog guy too. My wife's like, you live off hot dogs. I can't help it. They're good. You can do so much with a hot dog, right? It's like,
so good.
Hot dogs are great. Dude, bro, absolutely so good. My favorite, real quick, when we're talking about hot dogs, is the Chicago Classic is my all-time favorite hot dog.
What's that? What do you mean?
The Chicago Classic, it's got the two green hot sport peppers with the pickle and the relish and the tomatoes on it. On the sesame seed bun. You never had a Chicago Classic? Bro, you got to
No, dude. They don't have that out here, bud. Out here, it's Texas wieners and rippers. Deep fried Thumans hot dogs. They split open, right? And then Texas wiener sauce is not chili. Definitely different. Very similar, but not the same. And if you can find a real one, forget it. Hot Grill, wherever you want to go. Hiram's maybe. Love hot dogs.
Love it. Me too, man.
Yep.
Me too. I'm laughing at this comment right here. This is the first thing he said. Pablo, he says skadoosh, right? And then I'm laughing as she was talking. He says he likes hot dogs for the shape, not for the taste, Big Tone.
No, man. I deserve it. I can't. Whatever's coming through these comments, I deserve. I earned it. One way or the other. You're the best. Earned it. You're an asshole.
I love it. Earned it. Yep. I'm the hemorrhoid that irritates all those assholes. Let's go, man. Yeah, it's so working with Joe. Did you have plans in the future for helping another kid get up in this sport? Do you have any plans or?
I've tried a little bit. I would. It's not that I wouldn't. It's just got to be the right thing. I've had a couple opportunities, some offers, right, to crew chief, for other people and stuff like that. And the what the biggest problem is that there's it's probably a few things, right, but the biggest one is that I'm the business owner, right, and there's only two of us. We got some part-time help too, once in a while and stuff like that. But if I'm not there, it's bad. It's not. It's I'm running that dyno just today, all day, every day. I'm on that dyno, making money all day. And when I'm not there, it backs up the shop and stuff. So like the opportunity cost of me going to these races is tremendous, right? And you would think like Moto America, like it's prestigious. It's the highest level of motorcycle racing in America. It's the greatest American series. They're really doing a great job with it. Actually, I mean, everybody's got gripes, right? But it's cool. But the thing is that like that's not anybody's market. Like that's nobody's market. Like it's nobody's buying. What was the Hono sponsor or whatever? Like nobody knows what that shit is, right? Like I mean, like just the only sponsor that anybody knew anything about, as far as I'm concerned, was sportbiketrackgear.com, right? Brian Van, we were with them on the team for a little while. He's a great guy. Love his kid Max, but like it's not my market, like so. Yeah, I tuned some Moto America bikes for some people, and what we really do is like being in Moto America gets us those guys who want to do 1 round or 2 rounds, or their kids are coming into it, and I like to help them. I like to do what I can for those guys. It's always last minute, and I understand, so I like that. I've tried a little bit, but the problem is that like it's not about the money, right? Because nobody's going to pay me enough money really to where I'm not losing money doing it, and it's unfortunate that I can't clone myself, right? Because then it would be fucking perfect. But it's got to be the right people. I've had it so good with Joe and Joey. It's been the experience of a lifetime doing all that we've done. I mean, he was just a stupid kid who couldn't even talk shit with a mohawk like 8 years ago, right? Like he was just like couldn't even talk shit. Like it was just his mind was blown, right? And now he's that was a pretty nice comment, right? But he's pretty good at it now, and then he goes from that to we won $37,000 in a race last year at the Loudon Classic, and he was on my bike, right? Like that was my bike that me and him worked to make, and Huda built a hell of an engine, and we went up there and we did our thing, and we've been moving up, and it's just the last year and a half he came forward, this kid, and just stepped up like unbelievable. And then you see that and you're like, dude, like Big Joe obviously, always knew he could do it, right? And I was just like, yeah, okay, man, let's keep trying or whatever. Not that I never had faith in the kid, I always did, but like, he's not my kid. Like Big Joe knows him, and he knew, and he told me, and I was like, all right, man, let's see what happens. And sure enough, we just kept chipping away, and I don't know, man. I mean, it's like I had an offer this year, right, to work, and it would have been a pretty good gig. It was money and stuff like that. It was a good team. The team had money. It was potential there and stuff, and then like I was joking about it, but it has something to do with it, right? But the guy was at Jersey, right, Moto America this year, and they gave me a hot dog, and I was like, he's like, you look hungry. You want to hand me a hot dog, right? And I looked at that thing. I was like, no, dude, fuck no, right? It was like, dude, if you saw this thing, I don't know if it was like a ballpark Frank with like, dude, there was no way I was eating that thing. You know what I mean? Right. And then so like, it was that instant that I was just like, can I even do this anymore? We got like Bill Marsala meatballs like sizzling over here, like that Joe's warming up for us. Like I can't eat shitty hot dogs. Like what am I going to do? And I was like, that'd be like back being on the road, right? But even when you're on the road, like they've got food trucks at the Moto America rounds and stuff. So like, I would love to, it would just have to be like the right situation and the right vibe, and everything would have to really align well. I would love to. I really would. Like nothing is more rewarding than seeing people excel and you're part of their success, whether it's anything. I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be anything, like teaching anybody anything and then they do it well, and it's amazing. And then you mix motorcycles in there and forget it. Like it's the best, but it would really have to be it'd have to be awesome. It'd have to be
a once in a lifetime deal, like with you and Joe and his dad, right? Because again, we said this earlier. The friendship, the family, all three of you guys have built together, and seeing not only Joe Jr. grow to where he is now, but his dad too as well, right? And just being part of that and seeing where Joe is now to where you first met him, the little Mohawk kid, all this. You're not going to get that satisfaction anywhere else, right? It's a once in a lifetime journey, and I always say what a beautiful journey. Maybe, never say never, but like you said, it's got to be the right one, the right deal, right? And it's I often talk about the puzzle pieces that got to fall into place. Maybe that puzzle piece never falls into place, right? And I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason, the way it's meant to happen. So you never know.
Yeah, it's got to be it's got to be amazing. Like like I put a lot into it. His program, is my program. It's our program, right? Like, yeah, he's the talent, you know what I mean? But so is Joe, and so is Pablo, so is Uda, so am I. Like, it's our program, and we've all put in so much and sacrificed so much. Like, not just us, like his family, my wife, right? Like, I can't travel anywhere because I already travel too much, right? Like, it's just the amount of sacrifice that goes into something like that. If there's not a shitload of money somewhere, then everybody's making these tremendous sacrifices, because the reward is amazing. But I wish I would love to, but I don't know. You gotta see.
It takes a village to raise a racer, right? So it means
Yes.
everybody's got to pitch in at some shape, whatever scale it may be. All those little important puzzle pieces got to fall into place of whoever it is, and all this stuff to make it happen. Look, we got the one and only Kev Dog in the house. He says, "How does everything come back to hot dogs?"
He knows it, dude. Yeah. It does, because it does. It does.
Yeah.
It's the best, dude.
I love it, dude. I love it. Oh man, this is awesome. So, let me ask you this: what's the future look like for Bauce Racing, bro?
I mean, this year is a weird year, right? Like, there's only 3 rounds of club races in our region. For Pittsburgh's closed, right? We had 2 there. We had 3 summit rounds, 3 Jersey rounds. There's 1 Jersey round, 2 summit rounds. Hopefully it comes back more, right? Because that dictates kind of everything. I'd be away for at least 12, 13 weekends a year at these events, plus other ones and stuff like that. And as far as it goes, I mean, we're just trying to keep on keeping on with what we're doing. I'm focusing on right now. I'm trying to grow my online presence more. My business is greatly word of mouth. I don't really pay for advertising. A lot of people.
Screaming. I was so scared.
This
I'm
guy.
in a rank game.
Dude, you're good,
and
bro.
my
I didn't even
teammate-
hear you.
My teammate is AFK in the water.
This kid right here,
Ooh, I'm about
man.
to be the
So
highest rank in the game for the first time ever. Oh, just popped off. Just put that back on.
he always pops in, Anthony, at almost every podcast, and he's
I
in there
love
probably.
it.
Chat, y'all not gonna remember me ever again, bro.
You're
Chat,
loud.
y'all not gonna be remembering me. I'm gonna cut off all my hair tomorrow, bro. You're not even gonna
Yeah,
know
he's
who I
getting
am.
so dude. He's had this hair since he was 3. He's been growing out. He's 13.
Let's
He's getting
go.
it all
It's a
cut off
lot.
tomorrow. Yeah,
Enjoy
dude,
that hair
so-
while you
You're not
have
gonna
it.
know who I am, bro.
Doesn't last forever.
That's what I told him. It's not gonna last forever. Fortunately, me, I still got a full set of hair. So my younger brother, not so much. He's looking like you. So it was funny because I seen him 2 years ago. My brother come in and he took off his hat. I was like, bro, when did you get all those lots for sale? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, take your hat off again. He's like, fuck you, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I
Fucking
love
awesome.
Yeah,
Good
but the future of Bauce Racing, I'm just hoping that it stays the way it is and continues on. Like I said, we really don't advertise. People advertise for us. So I don't do ad campaigns and things like that. I don't have a lot of YouTube videos because I don't really have time to make YouTube videos. I've been trying. I put out a few this winter and stuff like that. I got some shorts and some reels and things like that have hundreds of thousands of views, and it's not really road racing related. I got 100,000 views on me doing a bunch of dyno runs on my XR100, which I ride in the winter on the ice. It's my pet project, but trying to grow that. Our suspension service, I'm a KTEC certified suspension guy. We race KTEC suspension. That's on all our bikes. We got real big with KTEC stuff, especially during COVID when Olin's just couldn't provide anything to anybody, and they still really can't. Stuff's impossible to get. So, and then they're going by the wayside anyway. The KTEC stuff is even better. The round at Summit Point, this most recent round, that was my first weekend on the through rod cartridges from KTEC, which are their top of the line stuff. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm trying to set it up so that I'm doing what I want every day, right? Like, I want to either be running the dyno, tuning bikes, or working on suspension, or being trackside to help support people, and that's why it's nice to have more race rounds, because obviously it's more race business for us, but I get to be at the racetrack and I get to make a difference in people's weekends, all the time, just whether it's somebody comes by and they just real quick question about this or that, or what gearing should we run, or what should I do? And what very few people do what I do, build and race bikes and actually race bikes, right? Like there's I was pretty much nobody, and I would always say there was nobody else, but it's not true. Emerson, I don't know, Emerson, right?
I know Emerson. Yeah.
Forget it, man. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I thought it was super cool until I saw him go right around me a few times lately, But it gives me some good insight, and I do love to help people, right? And so hopefully we can just continue to grow and dial in what we do a little bit tighter, and maybe with some better advertising or things like this, we can get a little bit more recognition. I feel like we've been underestimated maybe for a long time, a lot of us.
100%. I agree with that. I'm going to tell you like this, my friend. Whatever visions and goals you have, not only in life, but with your business and racing, dude, I hope you achieve them 10 times over. And if there's anything on my end that I can help you do, bro, I'm in. All you got to do is say, Simcoe, I need this. I got you. Whatever it's social media, doing some filming with you at the racetrack or whatever it is, bro. I got you 110%. I like to see everybody succeed, obviously, because this life is this long. So, yeah, man, I would,
especially as you get older, man.
Bro, getting younger, dude. We don't bounce or roll like we used to. Matter of fact, when we hit the ground now, it's just, and then 6 months later, you're like, oh my god, I'm still hurting. Yeah, so yeah, man. Joshua Michael says maybe expand into tuning Harleys. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I mean, so I did a lot of my early track days with Josh, right? He was a Triumph guy, right? And I used to joke, I'm like, bro, you guys are like the hipsters of the paddock. Like, what the fuck, man? And I actually have a lot of Triumph customers now. So like we expanded more into Triumph stuff. My buddy Bam Bam up in Loudon, he's a Loudon guy, and he got me doing some standalone ECU stuff for his bike when nobody else was, and wouldn't even advertise it because I didn't want to do it. But now with the Woolwich stuff being out for the Triumphs, we're doing a lot more of them. Honestly, it'd probably be really easy to tune Harleys. Power Vision, DynoJet has Power Vision, their own little ECU flashing software for them. Integrates right into the dyno software. It's actually really, really clean. It works well, but they're big, they're heavy, they're super duper loud, and it's going to take away from the time that I can give the road race guys, and it's not my passion. Like we all want to do what we want to do every day, right? And I don't want to be sitting on a Harley. I just don't. I don't want to. I could definitely do it. It's not that I can't. Like I would do it.
I don't want to. Yeah.
If you have a Harley and you want me to tune your Harley, contact me in November. That's how it works. November is the only month that we're slow. We're still busy, but I'm willing to take pet projects like Triumphs and certain things. But
just no carburetors.
Do it in the winter. Oh hell no, dude. No. And we don't do pops and bangs tunes. We do novelty shit. You know what I mean, right? Like we do performance tuning. It's a race shop. We're purists of the sport of road racing. That's what 100%.
We are. Let me ask you this. With the evolution of AI getting bigger and I guess smarter, or however you look at it, do you think that it's going to play a pivotal role in road racing too as well in the future?
I don't know. I mean, like I was saying about having to go and compete, to learn and get better and stuff, right? So like all I get, I mean, like it's gone from like once a week to like, not every day, but too many days of the week. Somebody sending me some AI ChatGPT analysis of like some freaking OBD readout or whatever, and then AI said I should turn this adjuster or I should do this or do that, and it's never right. So like what we do, the information is closely guarded. What AI and all that stuff can do, like everybody's like, oh, it thinks. No, it doesn't think. It doesn't think. Like, right, it's not a person. And what it does is it compiles all of the misinformation from the internet and puts in a nice, neat little package for you to read and repeat and be wrong about. So as far as the AI stuff goes, maybe, right? Like it's taken over the world, I mean, and how people are embracing it. Like I've seen Terminator. Have you seen Terminator?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, what are we doing? What's wrong with these people, But the AI stuff, it's always wrong. It's like 90% wrong when it comes to this stuff, right? And all it's doing is regurgitating the publicly available information, right? Like service manuals aren't really publicly available, so it's giving you specs that some dipshit put on a forum, right, or Facebook or whatever. That's probably wrong, like, I'm just not even surprised. Like, hey, what's the torque for my axle? It should just be like, well, several different sources say 5 ugga-duggas, right? Like, I'm surprised it's not spitting that shit at you. So hopefully not, right? Because then, we want to stay in business. We want to keep working. I don't see how it could be better than, like, as far as tuning goes, there's active tune and there's things like that. And it's a flawed system and it'll never be as good as what we do, with intuition and things like that. There's false air fuel ratio readings. When you open the gas quick, it goes lean. It's always going to do that, right? You can't get rid of that. You got to look at the horsepower readings to see if it matters, right? Maybe it doesn't matter. Also, you can't tune solely based on an air fuel ratio. Maybe a bike likes to be a little bit rich, a little bit lean, because one cylinder is really lean and the other three aren't, so like that's one thing that I do. I was doing a lot of it today. Individual cylinder tuning on a motorcycle. We tune each cylinder, not just all of them together, and so there's stuff like that where there's like life experience, intuition, and just knowing what the fuck goes on in the real world that AI and that type of stuff isn't going to offer you. If you want to write a letter to your boss, you know what I mean, and make it sound like you're not an asshole, put it in AI. That's what you use it for. If you want to do a math problem, check your grammar, things like that are absolute, go for it. But what we do with road racing, forget it. It's like that stuff is not accurate as of right now. I've not seen anything really come out of it that was worth talking about other than how shitty it is.
Yeah. I just wanted to get your views and opinions because
of course,
the big talking point of this.
No.
I always
as
say,
you can see, I've got an opinion. So
I love it, dude. Yeah, you should, right? But I feel like I'm like, dude, the people that's putting this into the AI, it's humans that are telling the AI what to do and all this stuff, right? It's not just this brain computer like you think it is you seen on cartoon back in the day. That's not it at all. So. Yeah. Kenny Abbott says people over AI and computers 110%. Kenny also says sad when there are more track days in a region than races. And that
yes, yeah, it's
facts.
This year is tough, man. And I went to the I was at the N2 day at Jersey not long ago, right? Because it like fit into my schedule. I could sneak down there real quick and get some laps in. And I got some laps in on those through rod cartridges, right? So I was like, I wanted to at least ride them once before I showed up at Summit to race, And I was down there, man, and I brought a few bikes down. I brought a few back. Somebody needed some tires from me or whatever. I brought down there. You're helping people out. You're meeting people. And I was just like, man, I was just like, well, there's not going to be any races in July unless I go to VIR or Mid-Ohio. They're 500 miles each. The gas is crazy. It cost me $225 in gas and diesel to go to New Jersey and back, and I live in New Jersey, right? And that's gas for the bike too. So I was just like, man, I'm not going to go. I was like, I'm just going to go fishing, right? I've been going fishing. I've been on my boat. I'm hanging out with my wife, spending more time with her. I'm being home. I'm doing, and I was like, oh, this is really nice. I'm having a summer. I haven't had an actual, like, racing is summer, right? And I'm like, I'm having a summer. And then I show up to this track day and I realized, like, shit, I should have just been going all these track days, right? Like, that's how I earned all the business from a lot of the racers, was by going to the races, and I would just be there. I'd just sit there. I would just like talk tons of shit as people went by, right? And I'd help this person, I'd help that one. And then they'd be like, oh, you were here last time. Oh, you were here that time. You know what? I want to bring my bike to you because I keep seeing you here and I need help, and I don't often have it. And I was like, yeah, I got you. And so I should have just, kind of been at more of these track days, it would have been a lot of tires, but I'm going to go hard on the track days from now till the end of the year, though, for sure. I'm going to race Daytona in October. I'm going to race Jersey at the end of the month. I got my eye on a track day. I got the track social event coming up on the 24th and 25th. That's a Monday, Tuesday exclusive event. Mike Sinatra, great guy, running these events, and it's like more of a social thing, and he's trying to take track days. Like, yeah, you're going to pay a little more for it, but they had like a barista last time. It was like a hipster with like a unicycle looking trike thing with making coffees and stuff, skinny jeans, the whole 9 yards, dude. I was really impressed. I was like, I've never seen that at a track day, and I didn't, and they had K-Tech there helping people out. And like, he's, things like that, where like, it's good to see like at least some of our industry, changing a little bit and then offering something different that's kind of the same, but a different flavor on it, and because this stuff's really expensive, track days cost a lot. The tires cost a lot. Gas is stupid money. The blacktop fees are crazy. The clubs are suffering, and then if you can get somebody that's kind of tweaking things a little bit, like, there's a lot of stuff that, he's been talking to me about or whatever. I don't know if it's going to be put in place or not, but like just really, really cool stuff. And N2's doing some really cool stuff. Evolve GT obviously are my people. They sponsor us. They sponsor Joey because I sponsor him. They've been sponsoring us. The Moto Gladiator stuff is amazing, right? So there's like all this stuff that's going on, and I wish I had been at it more because I'm just so focused on the racing. It's like tunnel vision, it's just, we have no races, so whatever, fucking go fishing, right? But yeah, it is a bummer, but what you do see is a lot of first time racers coming through now. There's a lot of guys. I met a couple kids that was their first weekend at Summit, Memorial Day. They had done some Moto Gladiator stuff too. I don't know, man, like there's a lot of stuff that is going on with these clubs, and everybody's doing something a little bit different to try to bring more people to the track. I'm still running the shop, and every time a street rider comes in, it depends on how like over the top they might be, right? With the 200 mile an hour bullshit and this and that or whatever. But like all the time, I'm like, go to the track. You can pit next to me, right? And I'll write on their invoice, Evolve GT, right? And I'll write where these clubs are and where they ride at. So like, I'm still doing what I did 15 years ago with the forums and trying to get people to the track, like Bob Hines used to do. And, you welcome your, because I was like, dude, come, you need a lot of shit, right? You're going to need a tire gauge, whatever. Like, I've got it. I got a big cooler. I got a canopy, I got an extra canopy. Just come to the track and learn, and trying to get people to do it. But yeah, it's tough when there's a lot more track days in a region than races. It's weird, but you also don't want to dilute the race weekends, right? Like nobody wants to go out of business doing this stuff, and it's all for good reason. The Pittsburgh closing was
shit.
A bummer. Yeah, it sucks. Shit. This is my least favorite drive in the world, dude. From up here in North Jersey to Pittsburgh, it's uphill both ways. Like there's a sign on the fucking highway, dude. It's the highest point of Route 80 east of the Mississippi. I would never know, dude, but my ears were popping. I was like, so I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's and going back to doing all these track days and traveling and having a wife and all this stuff, dude. I think that's the biggest juggling act for me too, is trying to make everybody happy at the same time, right? It's never gonna be possible, but you do the best you can to make everybody happy, but also when it comes down to it, be happy yourself, because that's the most important thing too. Right? Because if you're not happy with yourself, Anthony, it's like, why am I even doing this? I'm just done. Yes. Like, I'm done with you. I'm done with this. Like, fuck it. I'm out. Blah, 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 blah. So it's
because it's way easier to just not do it, right? Like, how easy it is to not go strat at a track day. It's way easier. Easy.
Just stay at home. That's that simple, right? But there's also a lot to being said to giving it your all and still doing everything. It all comes to the love of the sport, man, and giving back and want to see it grow. You know what I mean? And,
yeah, absolutely.
Once you find that balance point, which I don't think that we truly find a balance point in life, like what we think we do, and then something else happens and we got to still adjust this. So we're constantly adjusting everything, right? But if you can be happy doing it, it just helps out a whole lot more. And I'm a big believer in you got to take some time off. Like you said, just go fishing. Fuck it. And I'm grabbing my fishing pole, grabbing the tackle box, leaving the phone at home, and I'm out for 3 days. Don't give a shit what happens. The world could blow up. I'm like, cool, let's go. Like, I'm ready. Let's just do it, right? So
I was out yesterday, man. If there was a track day, I would have been at it, but there wasn't. And I wasn't mad. I was on the boat by myself. Good music, fishing pole, couple bass, right? It was great, but I mean, it is nice, but without track days and racing like that, like it's just a boring life.
Sucks.
Life sucks. That fixed, right? I ride dirt bikes. I've done an enduro race. I finished top 10 in my first enduro race. We ride minis on the dirt at our friend's house. We ride minis on the ice in the ponds all winter. Minis on the ice is cool, right? That's probably my second favorite thing other than road racing. But like what we're doing with this road racing stuff, like. People just need to experience it.
100%, man. 100%. Dude, Anthony, we're almost an hour and 30 minutes into this podcast, bro. I told you it was going to go by quick, man. Yeah, dude.
Dude, yeah. Awesome. I got to run my mouth all day, man.
Dude, me too, my friend. Me too. Kenny Abbott says there's some people out here in the Midwest region that have really capitalized well on the track days and racing. Feel free to give me a ring and talk it up. Might have some help.
All right, thanks, Kenny.
So yeah, man. Yeah, Kenny's actually what got me into the whole announcing gig. He invited me last year for the Race of Champions with Azra.
Okay.
And
Nice,
yeah, that's
dude.
what opened the doors for me. So I will see you. I'll be there October at the end of this month. I already got my hotels
Okay,
booked.
cool.
Yes, it's about in a shithole, right? It's in Millville, I think. So it's
Oh yeah. I'll be
yeah,
down there
yeah.
for sure.
So
I don't know where I'm
and then
staying yet, but it's not going to be pretty, I'm sure.
yeah, it's good, dude. It's good. We're there. We're having fun. Let's go.
Yes,
And
we're
then
gonna have
I'll see you at right. We'll definitely have to get together. We will and get us a good hot dog for sure, right? So yeah,
Oh,
Kevin, go ahead
I
and
got
laugh it
you.
up for sure.
You
Yeah,
come through, dude. It's going to be the
dude, I'll
best
be there,
hot dog you've
100%.
had. Promise.
I love it. I can't wait. And then of course I'll be there in October for the Race of Champions, and I'll be at VR this weekend in Jersey for MA2 as well. So yeah, man, I'm super excited. So look, let's transition to the second
Okay,
part of the
cool. Oh, yeah,
podcast
dude.
where I get to pick your brain about who you are as a person away from all this stuff. Just stay on with me after I end it, and we'll just chat for a few minutes, and then we'll call it a day. First thing I want to ask you, bro, is do you have any hidden talents nobody's aware of?
My superpower is talking shit. 100%. That's my superpower. That I don't have like other hidden talents. You know what I mean, right? Like that's it. Like if there's one, like that would be my superpower. Like I am ruthless, brutal. But it's a
Love
good
it.
time. As far as other talents go, like yeah, I mean, I ice skate probably better than I road race. Right? Like I'm a killer ice skater. I've been ice skating since I was 3 years old. So yeah, I play hockey at night and stuff like that. A couple of men's league, beer league stuff. Having a blast with the boys. But yeah, I would say shit talking.
I love it. He says shit talking.
It's true.
I love it, dude. What's your worst habit?
Oh man, I don't know. My wife's walking around over here. I could probably ask her. Right?
I'm sure if your wife's listening,
He's asking what my
wife's
worst
always put
habit
it down.
is. Yeah, she's got to think of which one.
I mean, there's a bunch.
Yeah, actually,
With your superpower.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe also shit talking. Right? Like just going off for 8 minutes about AI and fucking Terminator and AI.
Right.
Maybe that's what it is, Bad habits though. Yeah, I'm a little bit messy. Yeah, I'm kind of disorganized. Everything's like last minute in my life other than road racing, right? So yeah, we'll say that. We'll stick with that.
Pablo says, I could give you a few of his bad habits. LOL. Well,
He
look, is Pablo going to be there at the end of the month at Azra? I mean, at Jersey too with Azra. Cool.
Yeah,
I
I'll
can't
be
wait to. I can't wait to meet him, dude. This could be awesome. We're all gonna sit around and talk shit. I already know.
Oh, man, just be ready.
Dude, I was born for this shit. Trust me, dude.
Oh,
Let's fucking
dude.
go.
Be ready, man. Like, cause now I know you, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
People don't even know I'm talking shit to. Like, there's people that have come to the shop and probably was just like, dude, that dude's never fucking coming back. And I was like, I don't even care.
Yeah, right. Don't give a shit,
right?
right? Let's
It's
go.
like,
If he ain't part of the crew, fuck it. Well, yeah, dude. It's
All the
those
time.
type of people. It's like I feel like, we're such a small niche, beautiful circus, man, and we can just talk shit with the best of them, and just get along, right?
Yes,
again,
absolutely.
it's fucking crazy, man. Let me ask you this, dude. Do you listen to any audiobooks or read books?
No.
No.
When I'm in the no, because I don't like hear words in music and things like that, right? Like I don't know the words to like any song. I mean, maybe like that, like I think you were at one point you were talking about maybe asking me like a karaoke song or whatever. It would definitely be like "Baby Got Back," right? Because I was like 9 when it came out.
That's my wife, dude. That's
I've done it once at
saying,
karaoke, like backup dancers and shit. It was a whole thing, at Mason Street Pub, like 3 a.m. But yeah. Oh man, I don't know.
That's awesome, dude. It's funny, dude. Because my wife, she always was saying that. She's like, "Let's go do karaoke." She's like, "Baby Got Back." Boom, right? I'd laugh,
Right.
dude. Dude. Awesome, dude.
Podcasts I've tried, man. I can't. Like when I'm in the car, I want to hear music, right? And I don't even want to hear it. I just like want it on, right? Like, I don't read books anymore. I don't have time. I don't have time for anything. I have time. I work at the shop, and then when I come home, I don't even use my phone usually. Typically, I try to just me and my wife just watch some TV or whatever, and then I've got like sports and stuff that I play a little bit. So I don't have like time to read books. Like I've got books, dude. Like I bought a couple books, right? I thought about buying another book that somebody mentioned the other day, and I was just like, I'm never gonna fucking read this thing. You know, I can't. Like I just don't. I'd have to like I'm doing 8 things at once, right? Like all day long at the shop. Like I'm answering an email, the phone's ringing, I'm answering a text while an ECU's flashing. Sometimes I do 2 ECUs at once, right? If I can use 2 different softwares. And then that's while another one's flashing on the bike that's on the dyno. I'll come in and I'll do these and I'll mail that out. So like I'm always doing all these things at once. And then when I eat lunch, I'll like read the news a little bit if I feel like it, you know. I wish I had time to read books. People are hung up on audiobooks. It's supposed to be a great thing. I listened to a little bit of a couple of the Ken Hill podcasts, just because some of my customers had mentioned it. And I'm like, what the fuck are these guys talking about, dude? You know, and then I met him at Jersey, you know, right? And he was pretty cool and stuff. And I thanked him for some of that stuff. And I listened to a few of them, but some of it was really interesting, you know, right? Like there's some good information out there. I just don't have time. I wish I did. Motorcycles are my life.
Yeah, me too. Motorcycles are definitely my life. I do listen to audiobooks. I enjoy, especially when I'm driving to Florida. It's 10 hours away, right? I'm like, well, this audiobook's 14 hours. Cool. I'll listen to 10 of it on the way down here and the other 4 on the way back. I guess it's something to just help pass the time, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like what you say. It's just ambient noise,
Yes.
right? Sometimes I just cut everything off with the windows rolled down and say, I don't want to hear shit.
No,
But the
I
world
make
around me, and that's
I
it.
make playlists on those drives. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So like when I'm in the car by myself, like I make playlists. I've got them all on my phone, right? Like I don't do Spotify. I got Apple Music, dude. And if I get drunk enough one night, you're my friend, I'll send you a playlist.
I love it,
Yeah.
dude.
And you're
Let's
gonna be
go.
like, what, dude? I haven't heard these songs since I was a kid. And you got a whole playlist of music they played at a roller rink when I was like 9 years old, 10 years old. It's all 90s dance music. It's fire. Right? Like that's the stuff that I do on those long drives. Like I don't do podcasts. I make playlists for my friends.
I love it, dude. I love.
Yeah.
So, if you was to pull up your phone right now, what's the last song you listened to?
It'll be on the screen still. Hang on, dude.
What I
Music.
was listening to.
Jim Croce. You don't mess around with Jim. That was the last song that was playing in the radio on the way here. It was awesome.
Let's see, I was listening to on the way home, Young Dolph, Play With Your Bitch. That's what I was listening to. Some Young Dolph. So
I don't know what that is. Is it like mumble rap or something? Is it like
no, he's a trap rapper that got shot and killed. Some of his music. I listen to everything. I listen to Frank Sinatra, to Bob Marley, to trap music, to whatever, right? Dance, it don't matter. Disco. I'm fucking whatever vibe I'm feeling, whatever I play, I'm like, nope, don't want, nope, don't want. I hit it. I'm like, yep, this is it right here, right? Let's keep this going right here. So yeah, it's always a mood thing when it comes to that. Are you a spicy food guy?
Oh no. I had surgery on my stomach when I was like 19 years old, for like acid reflux and stuff. So I can't have spicy food. Like, I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I don't love it because my mouth's not like accustomed to it. So no spicy food. I just can't. Like, I mean, like, it's just, and like when people are like, nah, it's not spicy, and I eat it, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like my lips are on fire, you know, right? And they're like, nah, dude, you know, and it's like, I can't eat spicy food now. Nope. I wish I could. Like, I get like chorizo tacos all the time from this one taco joint that's real good. They make empanadas too. And that chorizo is like borderline too spicy. Like I can't put any sauce on there or nothing. Nope. No hot sauce.
Chorizo too, man. Chorizo is so good. Oh
No,
my god, it's so
ridiculous.
Good. Yeah. Let's see. Tattoos, bro. Do you have any tattoos?
Oh man, no. And you know why? Because you don't put a bumper sticker on a Ferrari.
I never heard that before. That's fucking classic, dude. Oh my god.
Everybody I know has heard it from me, and now you have too.
Yeah,
I got my
fucking
buddy Jared Fixler, who runs Motorsport Exotica in LA. I've known him for like 15 years now. He's got a Moto America team and stuff too. And he broke that out on me one day, and I just died. And I was like, I can't fucking wait to do that, dude. I was like, when I can keep something like that for years. Like I broke out a nickname for Bob Hines at Memorial Day that I had in my back pocket for over 10 years. And these guys was like, I can't believe you did that. I was like, that's how it works. When the
It's
moment's
trump
right,
card. Bam, there it is.
When the moment's right, you strike.
Yep, you got to. I fucking love it, dude. Let me ask you this, man. You have any? Everybody knows I'm a huge Isle of Man TT. I think it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Do you ever plan on going and seeing? Do you watch?
I would love to. I don't watch any. I don't watch any racing. I don't watch motorcycle racing. I don't watch car racing. I don't watch anything. I watch Moto America when the kids I know are in it. I watch Gus race. I watch Joey race. You know, I watch Super Sport. Right. I love the Junior Cup. I'm just still been out of shape over the Talent Cup and all that shit going away from Junior Cup. I'm still fucking pissed about it, you know. But I don't watch any racing. I mean, I've definitely watched a lot of Isle of Man highlights and stuff like that. When I first got into motorcycles, I watched a lot of Isle of Man. It was 100% my dream. I was like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to race it, dude. I'm definitely going to do it. And I'm not going to do it. But I would like to go and watch my buddy Anthony Sabatino. He just got back from there. My buddy Dan Hokamp, my best man Dan, he went there one year and it just said it was amazing. I'd love to go. I'm sure, you know, my wife doesn't want to go see more motorcycle shit, but she would totally go to another country to do it, right? Because there's probably something else cool to do there. But yeah, I do love the Isle of Man. I respect it greatly. But then I also kind of like got introduced to some like Irish road racing stuff, which is actually even more gnarly than what they do at Isle of Man. So if you're into that kind of, you know, TT type racing on the street, like check that out too. I'd love to go. I don't really watch racing, man. I don't have time. Like I said, when I get home, I try to give my wife the time.
Disconnect. Yeah.
Yeah. And I try not to. My phone goes into like that night mode now that the iPhone has, which is really nice. You know, like, cause I would wake up and like check my phone and then it'd be like emails of like, you know, this guy's fucking bike doesn't run, you know, in Wisconsin that I mailed an ECU to or whatever. And just cause he like left a key on, you know, right. But it drives me nuts all night. So when I get home, I try to just disconnect. Pablo watches, World Super Sport, World Superbike, MotoGP. So it's on all the time at the shop on this stereo in there. And, you know, I hear it, but it doesn't even register. I can tune anybody out. Like you could be talking to me right now. If I want to hear you, I don't know. I'm just like over there, you know?
That's one of my superpower too. I could tune anybody out. I'll look at you and be like, yeah, I don't fucking hear a word you're saying right now. And you don't even
I might
know,
even
right?
nod at you. Like I might not even be listening. Just be like, right. And I'm just way the fuck over there doing something else. It's already done. Whatever I had to do is already done in my head. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? Drives Pablo nuts. That's probably what he's going to say.
Yeah, I love it, dude. As far as Anthony, man, big shout out to Custom Cockpits, man. He's a buddy of mine too. You got to stay tuned because I'm getting him on. He's I seen him at N2 this past weekend at VR, and after we gave each other a hug, that's the first thing I said, bro. You got to tell me about the TT experience. He's like, oh my fucking god, dude, you fucking blah blah blah. I was like, let's go. It's
he's a great guy, man, and he's even more blunt than I am most of the time. You know, it sucks because he's usually right, mostly, right? So
I love it.
I've known him for a really long time, and he's a good friend, man. He really is. He's a good friend. Yeah.
Good. Well, listen, Anthony, I got one more question for you, and then we'll end the podcast. I'm going to give all my shout-outs, and I'm going to let you end the podcast and give all your shout-outs where they can find you on social media. I know you're not big on it, or if you have any merch to sell, you know, anything you want, all your sponsors, everything. Last question is, bro, look, Bauce Racing done took off. You making fucking millions and millions of dollars. You're in a position where you can have your own Moto America race team, Bauce Racing in Moto America, right? What class you going to race in? What's the manufacturer of motorcycle you would race? And who are the two current riders in Moto America you would put on your machines?
Oh my gosh, man. This is like...
It's a hard one, ain't it?
Dude, you really got me here. You button hooked me. Yeah, I mean, I would love to race Super Sport, right? I'd love to have a Super Sport team. I just love the middleweight class, but the problem is Super Sport's really not a middleweight class anymore. You know, if it was up to me and we had infinite resources and money and stuff like that, you know, like if we could keep racing the Moto America or R6 at Moto America, I mean, look, they homologated it to 2028, right? So you definitely can, and we did good on it. We were in the top 10 on that thing. We probably could have done better with more time and money and effort and things like that, of course, right? You know, so obviously I'd have Joey, right? I wouldn't want to, if I could have him ride for me, that's all I'd ever want to see. I'm happy. And for the MP13 team, you know, they're lucky to have him, and I'm really proud of him for getting some recognition and receiving a great opportunity. It's not great circumstances that he got it, but I'm happy he does. And since we started, I told him, and him and his dad forever, for years and years and years, I was like, I have your best interests in mind and mine too. You know, so I'd love to have him, of course, right? It would be a no-brainer. I think he could run in the front for sure if he had the right resources behind them, more resources than just me, and us, the few of us that make up our team. And then as far as another rider goes, that's really tough to say. I mean, there's plenty of riders I wouldn't want to deal with. I can tell you that for sure. Right? Like plenty of them. I don't know, man. I'm so unprepared for this question, dude. Like at all. I'm not super keen on the R9. I just haven't had a good time with it yet. So I don't know if that's the bike. I mean, trust me, if we could have an R6 and win, that's all I'd want, right? And I think it's pretty good. They'd probably have to balance it a little bit more, and they won't, I don't think, because there's not enough R6s out there to contest, right? And as far as other riders go, if it could be somebody young who's up and coming, who's got who's got a future that maybe I could help provide them with the opportunity, then that's who it would be. And I don't know who that would be right now. It's impossible to just pick somebody who's really good and be like, that's the kid. I don't know, man. I'd have to be, someone young that could be molded and is, has the right attitude. There's a profile that you have to have as a road racer, and you've got to be cocky, right? You have to be, and but not to the point where you don't listen to other people or, things like that. And because it takes a very high degree of confidence to do what we do out there on the racetrack with these bikes, especially what these kids do with all their talent, going way faster than I will. But it would have to be like somebody up and coming who's got a future that I would be able to help with. That's what it would have to be.
Yeah. It's I ask everybody that question, man, because I like to know everybody's. Me personally, I'm like you, dude. I'm friends with so many people in the paddock. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, I don't. It's hard, right? But you're right. It's got, and we said this earlier. You got to have that complete package, right? You got to. A road racer has got to show up and say, I'm gonna whoop everybody's fucking ass in this paddock this weekend, hands down, no fucking question, right?
Yeah.
You got to have that mentality, but you got to have that level of humbleism that goes along with it too, right? So you got to be friends with everybody, and you can't lose your shit and throw your fucking helmet across the paddock and fuck this and fuck that.
You got to stay marketable and presentable. There's a lot that goes to it, for sure.
There's a lot that goes into it.
And then having been through it for a while, with the kid, like, I mean, I remember his first interview. We were at Jersey and he did like really well, and like nobody was expecting Hannah Loper to come interview him, right? And he's like a young kid. He's just like, and I would be too, right? I was like over there. I was like, oh, yeah. And then like he just was like, buddy, you got to do better next time, man. You got sponsors, you got people, you know what I mean? What about your mom? Right? Like, come on, bro. And I did it the first time I was on microphone, right? Like I was at Daytona and they put me on the microphone and I was just like, blah, 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 thanks, Pablo, whatever. And then the dude's just like, got anybody else you want to thank? And I was just like, nah, dude, fuck that. And my wife's just like, you're an asshole. And I was like, I sure am. I definitely am, right? Like there's so many things that go into the whole package, right? That you would really need. It's just like some of these junior Rookies Cup kids that went over to Europe, that finished way ahead of some of the other kids that got chosen for the program because they weren't as marketable for whatever reason it might be, I would like to be in a situation where I can provide, opportunity, and it would have to be to somebody with the potential. That's what it would have to be. You pick one kid.
Nowadays, it's not talent's just going to take you all the way, right? It used to be back in the day, if you had talent, somebody seen it, they're like, oh, I'm going to pay you, you could ride for me, and blah, blah, blah. It's nothing like that today. So it's, again, it's those little puzzle pieces that's got to fall into place and all this other shit that happens in order for you to be successful. Jay Clark says sprinklers.
Sprinkles. Justin Clark. My wife's just like, oh my God. He is a wild man. I've known him forever too. He's got the most gorgeous blue eyes, dude. You would die. You'd melt. Just one glance. What a stud.
I love it, dude. Let's go. Stud muffin in the house.
I promise you. I hope he's at Jersey when you're there, dude. You were just like, okay, yeah.
Yep. I'm buying you a hot dog, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go. Oh, well, listen, Anthony, dude, I've had a proper mega time, dude. It's been such an honor to have you on.
Me
I'd
too,
like to
man.
give
Thank
my
you.
sponsors a shout out real quick, and then I'm going to let you end
Yes.
the podcast by shouting out everybody, wife included, right? So, first shout out is actually to everybody that watches the podcast, that hits all those likes and subscribes, for all my friends that's come on, for everybody that's going to come on in the future. Because if it wasn't for Anthony, everybody that comes on here, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this. Is because of each and every single one of you is the reason why I'm here right now. It's nothing but love to each and every single one of you, and I mean that. I say it every podcast, and that's the truth, right? So, next shout out to Kabuto Helmets America. They're one of my new sponsors. It's my favorite helmet ever owned in my life. It's absolutely amazing. I'm not saying that because I got it for free, right? They're one of my sponsors, but dude, I really believe in this. So this is the only helmet that I wear a small. I got out the box, Anthony. I felt it, the cushion all over my head, top, side, front, back, forehead,
Full
cheeks, everywhere.
contact.
Dude, it blew my mind, right?
Hell
And what
yeah.
sets this helmet apart from any helmet out there on the market, yes, it is FIM homologated, all that stuff, right? As pretty much all top line helmets are. It's the only FIM homologated with the MIPS system built into the helmet. It's actually built into the liner, not the shell, right?
Okay.
But it's got this new safety feature where they actually patented the cheek. I'm a big, I talk about concussions in motorcycle racing. Like our next advancement improvement's got to come from the helmet, right? We got the airbags in the suit. Now they're going down to the hips, and who knows where the airbags could eventually go, right? But the helmet to me is that next evolution when it comes to motorcycle safety. Well, all the pullouts, right? Cheek pad pullouts, dude. If you had to pull one out, dude, it's fucking rough to pull out.
Oh,
This
dude,
thing
yeah.
right here, you just unzip it. There's a little red tab that comes out, and you barely pull it. What it does is it pulls the inside of the cheek pad out of the liner, and it collapses the whole thing in. So you have all this room for less rider movement to pull the helmet off.
It comes
in
off
case
easy.
of that, right? It comes off super
That's cool.
easy. They patent it, and where FIM and Dorna come in and ask Kubota to allow all the other helmet manufacturers to incorporate the same system because it's far advanced than the normal
'cause it's good.
pull out,
Yeah.
whatever, because it's really good, right? And of course they said no, right? Why would you say yes,
God
right?
forbid.
So,
Yeah, God
but
forbid.
yeah, big shout out to Kubotas. They're actually going to be at VIR this weekend. So if anybody's interested, I talk about it all the time. I take it to races, have people try it on.
That's cool, dude.
So yeah, absolutely amazing. Big shout out to AGV Sports Group Kamani. They're one of my sponsors, leather sponsors. Anthony, I'm big on full custom suits. You buy off the rack suit, it don't fit you, correctly. It's too tight in the arms. You wonder why you're getting arm pumped. Your fingers fucking going numb because it's got a goddamn kung fu grip on it, or it's too baggy here and it's choking the shit out of you.
Whatever it is. Yep.
Well, whatever it is, right, dude? It's 2026. People, get yourself a full custom suit. It don't matter, dude. Of course, I want you to get Kamani AGV, but dude, there's so many brands out there, right? It's just like graphics and all this stuff. Get in where you fit in. Get in where the energy matches your energy, and who you like. That's who you go with, right? Basically.
Yeah.
So, big shout out to K-Tech Suspension. I'm good friends with Kendall and Dakari and Birch and all these people. I tell everybody all the time, if you're not racing on K-Tech, dude, what are you doing, right? You're wasting your time. Get on K-Tech, people. Big shout out to SFL Mini GP, Jersey and South Florida. It's one of the best programs we have here in America, in my personal opinion. That's where Joseph Bazooka Joe come from, Brandon Posh. I mean, Avery Dreyer, Ella Dreyer, Juju Carrera. I mean, you name it. That's where you watch Moto America. We think a lot of these kids are coming from. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to 64 Degree Racing for all your undersuits and Venom Sport too. They're two of my friends that, make undersuits. You're not going to go wrong by ordering from either of them. And, talking about custom suits, there's a big difference between your proper motorcycle undersuit versus your fucking Under Armour and Nike at Dick's. It is not the same people.
No,
not
at
even
all.
in the same fucking league, right? So stop
Nope.
that shit. Get you a proper undersuit. I got 3 friends that make graphics. Helmet wraps. Whether you want your dog wrapped, this is what I say. Whether you want your helmet wrapped, your bike wrapped, your dog wrapped, your wife wrapped, it don't matter. They'll wrap anything you want to be wrapped, right? You're not going to go wrong by ordering from any of them. The first one is GRG Designs, my man Gus Rodeo. Many of you know him as the road racer, but he also does custom graphics and all that too. Of course, Drip and Wet. Everybody knows Chris Crizel and Reese Brody from REB Graphics. All 3 of these are my friends, and they're absolutely amazing what they do. Big shout out to Aaron Stevenson and his, corner spin in corner speed schools and classes, absolutely amazing. If you're in North Carolina, around here on the East Coast, again, what are you doing? Sign up for one, go out there and have fun. Big advocate on mini bike racing little CRF 100s on the dirt. Man, it teaches you so much, and that goes back to what I said about taking it back to the basics of riding, right? It teaches you so much. Big shout out to, man, just everybody, right? This is the last thing I'm going to say. If you need anything in this industry, support those that support you. Stop ordering this shit off of fucking Walmart and Target and all these other fucking places. Don't pre-order your tires off of Amazon and then go to fucking Ware or Azure or any other of these places. Dude, go there, buy it from Pit Lane Moto, buy it from Stick Boy, right? Buy it from your vendors that are there, right? If you take away money from them and we lose those, then what do we have in this sport?
No.
Right?
No.
So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
important. And if there's anything anybody needs, dude, I mean, Anthony was there. I know a lot of people. We can get you anything you want, point you in the right direction. Please. Big shout out to all the corner marshal workers from around the world. If it wasn't for each and every single one of you men and women, again, we wouldn't be showing up to the racetrack. I need everybody to go to Road Racing World, donate to the air fence. Again, that's one of those things that we have to have, even at the club level racing. If we don't have the air fences, the corner marshals, and that one ambulance there, it's a no bueno, straight up. So,
Yep.
yeah. But anyway, that's all I got. Anthony, tell everybody where they can find you on socials. Do you have any merch for sale and, get your bikes worked on and all that?
No, we don't really have much merch right now. Funny story is Gus made me these shirts, right? I can't get any more from him. He won't do it anymore. He designed my suit, right? Gus did. Good kid, man, for sure. But no, we don't have too much merch, unfortunately, right? If there's a lot of people want them, we could do more. It's just this year I'm trying to kind of redo everything, where we put our money, right? And how we manage inventory and stuff like that. So it's not a merch thing, but it's Bauce Racing on Instagram, Facebook. I don't have anything on TikTok. I don't do it. I can't. And it's just I thought I was gonna, but I didn't. But it's in person. Come see us at the racetrack, right? Come to the track, go to a track day, invite us down there, come watch us race. Support the club racing events. Just pay the $50 and come watch for an afternoon. Bring your kids, put them on a scooter, show them how much fun they could have. Reach us at the shop. We got a contact form on our website. If you're looking to have your ECU tuned, fill out the contact form on the website or the ECU flash form. If there's something that you want from your bike, or if you're at a track day event or any of the club racing events, stop by, talk to us about what bike you have, and we'll tell you what we think. Might not be what you want to hear, but just reach out to us. I mean, we have a lot of recommendations. We've been doing this for a long time. A lot of you guys are spending money on shit you don't need. You're buying things in the wrong order. I got a guy at the shop the other day with a street bike who wants ceramic wheel bearings, but it's his first bike. The thing runs like shit, right? There's certain things that you got to do in a certain order, and we want the same thing that you want, right? You want your bike to run well. You want to have a nice bike. You want to have a good time on it. You want a well-running, clean, awesome bike that you love. And that's what I want. I want you to have that too. I race motorcycles. I ride motorcycles. Pablo races. We want the same things you want. I don't want your last dollar. I don't want you to spend every single dollar you have on shit you don't need so you can't buy tires and go to the racetrack. We want what you want, and just reach out. Just give us a shout. Come see us. Stop by the shop, whatever it is. We don't have a lot of time to talk on the phone, but we answer emails the best we can. We're a small shop, support small business. Like Simcoe said, you get people who are buying fork springs off Amazon and then asking me, how to do it. I'm like, nah, dude, fucking call Amazon. They'll tell you how to put that shit in there. You got this. Yeah. Do it, bro. Fucking make it happen, man. ChatGPT. But yeah, we don't.
Dude, we got Grok. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? But otherwise, yeah, there's a lot of people that do help us out. Just like you have sponsors, we have sponsors, I have sponsors. Evolve GT, Brett Baker over there. He's a great friend of ours. Man, they've done so much for us. They've done so much for all these kids that are coming up. They truly do care. They want you guys to have a good time at the track. They're creating a family environment at the track. Our friends are becoming coaches, and they've got their kids, and their kids are at tech. You got 7-year-old kids helping you tech your bike. It's a beautiful thing, man. Come down the track and see what it's all about with Evolve GT. Vance and Leathers, right? It's custom suit. Vance and Leathers is the only custom leather suit made in America that you can buy, right? Top of the hide leather, not that belly skin shit you get off the cheap suits, you know. They don't have gimmicks. They don't do elbow sliders and all this crazy stuff, but they got a nice double zipper bib suit that you could pee super easy in. 45 years old, I'm in and out of that thing in no time. You wish you had it, I promise. REB Graphics, Reese Bridey. His dad was a great friend of mine. He's a great kid. We had the nicest looking bike in the entire Moto America paddock last year. Everybody said it. I don't give a shit if you don't like it. It was amazing. Reese did it. I just told him, do it. And he's like, what about this? I'm like, sick, right? So Reese is the man. Like I said, Gus, he designed my Vance and suit because they don't have they're not like a lot of the other companies, right? Like where they can get you a crazy cool suit with all these stupid little things on it. You could have that, right? They can print on leather. They can make it look super sweet. My suit was like the nicest suit they ever had because Gus designed it and they could execute it, you know? And that thing protected me, man. Like I can't say it enough. I've had crashes and crashes and crashes in my life, you know, and sometimes the gear made it and sometimes it didn't. And that suit, man, I sent it to him, and for just a couple bucks, man, they had it back to me within the same week. 1 week, fixed, patched, stitched, whatever, dude. Yeah, stitched, back in my hands for just a couple bucks. Like, you're never gonna get that. You're gonna get a suit from overseas that doesn't fit and you're fucked, right? That's it. Or you need it fixed, and then you call Vance and they're like, nah, dude, we don't work on anybody else's suits. I wouldn't either, you know, right? Or you got to get somebody else to fix it, and maybe they can, maybe they can't, you know, who knows, right? But anyway, Vance Leathers, they take care of me too now. They protect my body, my wife, my entire family, who I don't get to spend enough time with. Well, yeah, I'm not there yet. Yeah, but Pablo, you know, of course, he's my right hand. He's the best kid. He works super hard on everybody's bikes. He's the one that's doing most of the work on your bikes. You guys think I'm the man. It's really him. Uda Torres Racing, UTR Performance, builds the fastest engines in the paddock. A lot of us are running them. Like my post from last week at Azra, I finished 7th place. The top 8 bikes were all Bauce Racing R6s, either bikes we built the engines for, we tuned, did suspension, bikes that came through the shop in one aspect or another. You got the Loudon Classic, right? Last year and the year before, about 1/3 of the grid in that, the highest paying race in America, 1/3 of the grid are bikes that I tuned that came through our shop, right? We took 2nd place in that race, you know? So it just all comes back. I don't have a lot of sponsors, right? Pirelli Moto, they take care of me. I sell Pirelli race tires. I'm a sub vendor for them. They give me the privilege of being able to sell you guys the sticky rubber that works the best. The Lamondres, Joe Lamondre, Mrs. Lamondre, January. A lot of people. It's just mostly people behind us, dude, that let us do what we want to do and keep us going. You know, I don't have a ton of sponsors, but the important ones are there, you know, and our friends. Yeah. You know, I got good guys like Anthony Sabatino, you know, he was my rider coach for years, you know, right? He's a great guy, man. I'm going to ride with him in a couple weeks. You know, we're going to have a blast. But it's the people, obviously all the customers that have supported us over the years, you know, and the people that didn't, you know, that's cool, man. We just did even better and better and better. It's fine. I appreciate them too. I appreciate the haters.
Love it. Me too,
for sure.
Right? Because
Yeah.
you know, yeah, we will always have the hater side of thing, but I embrace it, right? Because there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? Talk all the shit you want. It's good. I'm good. Let's go.
Yeah.
Michael has a question. He says, Anthony, are you racing at Azra at the end of the month?
I am, buddy. I hope to see you there. He's got a nice ZX10 that we tuned for him.
That's what he just said. He says, love what you do with my Gen 6.
Yeah, he's a great guy. You know, he's a track day guy that's trying to move his way up. You know, we got tons of customers like that we have for years and years and years that don't race motorcycles. They're not the super fast guy. You know, he's a great guy with a really nice bike, and you'll see him at the track. You know, I've seen him up at Pocono. I've seen him around, you know, right? And you see these guys, and there's certain ones, like Mike is one that we always remember. You know, I don't remember a lot of people, dude. I mean, so many people, but he's one, you know, and it's not like he's been in the shop 1,000 times either, man, but that's what it is, man. When you see somebody like that and they're so happy, you haven't seen them in 2 years since you tuned their bike, and they're like, oh my God, it's going so good, you know, blah, blah, it's running great. Yeah, it was a fuel pump, like you guys said, thanks so much, you know, right? Like half the time we tell you to fix your own bike because we're that busy, you know, you don't want your money sometimes, you know, but yeah, he's a great example of another great customer, another person that's supported us along the way, that made everything that we want to do, you know, sort of possible. That and Capital One, for sure. I can thank them.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, right.
You know? Thank you, fellas over there.
Thank you, Capital One. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Anthony, bro, I had a proper mega time, dude. I appreciate it. This episode will be out Spotify, iHeart, all that shit here in a little while.
Okay,
I'll tag you, send you all the links and all that good stuff. Reese Brody just popped in real quick and says, "Yo, these are some gems of gentlemen, dude. Thank you, Reese. Nothing but love, my man.
best. The
Absolutely,
best.
dude.
Love that
Yes,
kid.
dude." Michael says, "Me too, man. I can't wait. You know what? I've been to a lot of
See?
races."
Look at that. First time racer. There's another one, dude, right
Yeah,
there.
dude. There it goes, dude. Let's fucking go, dude.
Sick, bro.
Yes,
Fuck yeah.
yes. Well, anyway, dude, I'm gonna get off here because I'm gonna do what you said. I'm gonna go out here and spend time with my wife and my
Yeah.
son because I got Moto America this weekend. My son starts
All right.
school Thursday. He'll be at school Friday. I'll bring him to the track with me Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah, dude, Anthony, thank you so much. It's been
Yeah, of course.
absolutely
Thank you for having me on,
amazing.
man. It was a blast. Thanks, Simcoe.
Dude, the honor is absolutely all mine. Can't wait to sit back down for the part 2, and I'll see you at the end of the month, my friend.
All right, buddy. Hell yeah. I'll see you then, brother. Thank you very
Let's
much.
go, man. Nah, you're welcome, man. I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
You got it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. You're welcome.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.